Hello and welcome to the Hoodcast. I am your host, Aaron Hood. I'm joined today by wrestling manager, stand-up comic, and general Renaissance man, Randy B. Randy, thank you for joining me.
You're more than welcome, and thanks for a lovely intro. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's nice to chat with someone who's a bit more high energy than me because I can really just sort of, like the hot tag. I can just. It's
I like
right. You come in and clean house, mate. I'm done.
I like the polite terminology of high energy. I've been called a lot of things. High energy is one of the nicer. That will go into the nice column of things that people have said about me. I think.
Yeah, I don't know. I think maybe the other one is like pronounced ADHD.
House of Fire is another one I always used to like.
House of Fire.
Right.
I think that's probably why I gravitated towards wrestling, was because it's one of the few things that with ADHD that could hold my attention growing up.
The colours and the noises and the lights.
Yeah, it's just stimulating enough that I calm down for a little bit.
yeah, yeah, definitely.
Yeah. What I always like to ask a new guest is about their favourite match. So if and a lot of people can't settle on just one like definitive. This is my number one favourite match. But if you had to pick one of your favourites, could you talk me through that and why?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the favourite is like it's so difficult to just pick one favourite. I mean, there's so many, and there's so many spots within a match that may not have been my favourite, but then I think that was an amazing spot. I love that bit in that match. But so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to the match that really made me sit up and pay attention to wrestling as just not something that was on the telly on a Saturday. And that was the Intercontinental title match with Bret Hart and Mr. Perfect.
Ooh.
Yeah. I think because I'm quite a small fella. I'm not the biggest. I'm sort of 5'6", 5'7", and I'm about 11, 12 stone. So I'm not massive. So when I used to watch wrestling, they always seemed like cartoon characters. They didn't seem real to me. I couldn't connect with them. And they
Yeah.
was all power, power, power. Like the Hulk Hogan's, the Ultimate Warriors, people like that. They just win in, they just run through everybody. And then I remember watching Bret Hart and Mr. Perfect for the Intercontinental title and seeing two smaller guys but put on absolute technical masterclass. I mean, there was not one foot put wrong in that match. You can watch it back now, and it holds up to anything that's on TV now on and in any promotion. It is near on as perfect as it gets, and I kind of just sat there watching it, thinking, "Wow, this is fantastic." And then the storylines, as they're meant to, kind of hooked you in because I wanted to know if he was going to get the title or back or what was going to happen and who's this who's this oh my god, Bobby the Brain, who is he? I like him, he's quite funny, and before you know it I'm kind of falling down that wrestling rabbit hole, so to speak.
Yeah. What I quite like about when people like Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels and Mr. Perfect came along, that kind of era, away from the sort of giants where it was always just, is this guy got a ridiculous physique? But then you're having people who have attainable physiques. You could realistically, if you tried, work out and look something like that, and they were tying up guys, twice their size. And if you think about it, those kind of matches aren't too dissimilar from what happens regularly on NXT now. That sort of style where it's all technical, is really, really grounded in technical skill.
Definitely, and it was always kind of an unwritten, not unwritten law, maybe an unwritten kind of secret or an open secret that you put your world title on your money man. So someone like Hulk Hogan, who's probably not the greatest wrestler in the world, should we say, to be kind, but he will draw money, he will draw fans, you'll get merchandise money from the red and yellow. So you'd put the world title on him, and then as a nod of respect, you would put your Intercontinental belt on basically your best wrestler in the promotion. And if you look back, it kind of rings true. If you look at the people that have held the IC title, they've all, well, not all, but they've to a degree been very clean, technical, all round kind of wrestlers. You know,
Yeah.
there's quite a rich history of people holding that belt that maybe never went on to a title, a world title, but are just outstanding wrestlers.
It's kind of like almost the boys' title. If do you think that it's a valid parallel to draw between, the phrase, "Oh, he's a comedian's comedian," with, "Oh, these guys are a wrestler's wrestler," if you know what I mean?
I can see the similarities. I can see the similarities definitely. Um, I think that's maybe sort of as the public would see looking in, other to as well as us looking out as comedians or wrestling. For example, Dean Malenko. Dean Malenko was always, if you read any wrestler's autobiographies, they will always rant and rave about how professional he was, how technical he was, how just outstandingly as a wrestler he was, his transitions, his work ethic, that he was a fantastic wrestler. But if you wasn't into wrestling and you watched a Malenko match, you'd be like, well, they're just laying on the floor, aren't they? I don't. Where's that guy with a bald head and the yellow and red throwing people over his shoulder? That's what we want to see.
Yeah.
But from a purist point of view, you'd look at someone like Malenko and think, this guy's fantastic. But it doesn't draw money, does it?
No.
Your layman, your kind of average, everyday, casual wrestling fan wants to see the jacked up Ultimate Warriors, Big Daddy Cool Diesels, power bombing people through tables, etc. So wrestlers, wrestler, comedians, comedian. I kind of, I suppose there is quite a similar parallel there, isn't there?
Yeah. I must admit, to my shame, obviously I've seen a load of the vignettes and the promos, and I know the stories about him, but I haven't seen much of Mr. Perfect's actual work. Obviously, I've seen loads of Bret Hart. I mean, it's Bret Hart, but do you think that his Bret Hart versus Mr. Perfect is a good sort of starting point if someone's trying to get into either or both of their bodies of work?
Oh yeah, definitely, without shadow of a doubt, because it's two experienced ring generals who are technically gifted and know their craft, and it's just so smooth, and it's to and fro, it's backwards and forwards, it's edge of your seat kind of stuff, especially around that kind of time. Or maybe we were just moving out of that kind of mentality. Do you remember on sort of Superstars, you used to just get some nobody, no name geezer from the audience that no one ever heard of, and then the junkyard dog would come down and beat him up. So you knew who was going to go over the minute they'd be like, oh, and in the ring it's Steve Jones, and this like fat lad went, "Ree," and they went,
Yeah.
oh, and his opponent from parts unknown, it's the Undertaker. And you're like, well, do I need to watch this? And really?
Yeah.
So it was just sort of coming out of that kind of booking or that kind of mindset where they would put it, you'd only get two superstars fighting off against each other at pay-per-views. You
Yeah.
wouldn't want a day-to-day show. And then I don't know whether that was the watershed moment, but it seems to be became more common maybe. But
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, if you want to get into Bret Hart or Triple H, oh my God, right? If you want to get into Bret Hart or Mr. Perfect's work, then yeah, that's a perfect place to start, because Perfect used to do a lot of vignette type stuff. I think he was sort of quite injured towards the end. I don't know whether it was injuries or if it was kind of substance abuse. I don't know. But then he ended up doing a lot of commentary, and he was with Flair for quite a while as his kind of ring man.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, even his commentary work is outstanding. Him and Bobby Heenan in that time were just untouchable. I mean,
Yeah. Bobby Heenan. I mean, a lot of people consider Paul Heyman probably the best to do it management, but he goes, no, 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 it's Bobby the Brain Heenan, and you have to
absolutely,
agree, he's
absolutely.
just unparalleled.
Oh, not even close. Not. I mean, again, if anyone's listening that hasn't seen any Bobby Heenan's work, it's it's genius. It is genuinely genius. People talk about the Mount Rushmore of American wrestling, don't they, or of wrestling? You'd
Yeah.
have to put Heenan on it. You'd have to. You could. I mean, Paul Heyman comes very, very close, and he is fantastic. I love watching Heyman's promo work.
Mm.
Bobby the Brain Heenan is, yeah, he's untouchable. I don't think there'll ever be another Bobby the Brain.
Yeah. Someone who has just all these innovative ways of just making you absolutely hate him, like authentically angry at him, even if he's just being snide on commentary and going, I knew he was going to do that. It's just like, yeah, you smarmy prick. Like when there's a sporting event on and suddenly everyone you know becomes an expert in that sport or election, and it just your eyebrow starts twitching a little bit. He's just one of those individuals.
Yeah, and the thing I used to love with Heenan as well was the way that he would completely flip from left to right, like in the middle of a match. And then when they called him on it, he was like we were talking about, and he was so quick-witted and so clever and so articulate that he made the face commentator or the color commentator look like an idiot. And yet he'd be like, it's definitely going to do this. Oh, this is definitely going to happen. And this is what happened. And I put my ass on it and blah, blah, blah. And then he'd flip flop as the action in the ring was going from heel to face, heel to face. And Heenan would be able to roll with it as well and turn at the same time. And at the end, go, see, I told you. And you just be in awe of his abilities to do that, but also really, really wound up because you just wanted to strangle the little shit for being such a glory hunter or such a kind of flaky, snaky kind of person. Genius, absolute genius.
Kind of like if your team lost in a Champions League final, and then you take like the shirt off, put their shirt on, and try and sneak into the photo holding the trophy.
Yeah, or you've got like again a football analogy where you would lose in the third round or the fourth round of the FA Cup, and then go, yeah, no, it's all right, we're concentrating on the league anyway. Concentrating on the league. Cup don't mean nothing.
It's all part of the plan.
Yeah, no, we're not interested in the cup. It's the league we're after. It's the league we're after. The cup's rubbish. It's dead now. FA Cup means nothing. And then next season, your team gets into the final, and you're like, we're talking about it's the greatest cup competition in the world. Who wouldn't want to win it? You're like, yeah, fucking little, yeah.
Last year it was a tactical decision to lose 3-1 to Swindon, you know.
You sound a little bit bitter on that. Did you lose 3-1 to Swindon?
Oh, I'm an Ipswich fan, mate. All I know is failure and cuckoldry.
Is it true that like for the first 5 years of supporting them, you thought the team name was Ipswich Nil?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I grew up and the first season I acutely remember is finishing 5th in the Premier League, and
wow.
I have to convince people that genuinely happened. Sometimes the more I explain it, like, you know, it was this year, this happened. The more I explain it, the more I doubt myself, you know?
Mandela effect. You're like, have I slipped into a different... Yeah, I didn't know. I don't even know what the Premiership looks like. I'm a Millwall fan, so I've never seen them giddy heights.
Well, at least you're good for entertainment value. Like I remember the game where your fans were. I think it was an FA Cup match against Wigan, and the fans were kind of cordoned off, so they couldn't get to the Wigan fans, so they just started fighting each other.
Yeah, that sounds about right. There's a 1977 documentary. I think you can find it on YouTube. It's about football hooliganism, and they follow a group of, not that I'm endorsing football hooliganism as a good pastime. It's just funny to see how times have changed. They follow this group of lads around the country that support Millwall, and one of them's called Harry the Dog. And some go up in coaches, some go up on the train, some go up on like in their cars to avoid detection from the police spotters. And they break down, and the only one to get there is Harry the Dog. He's the only one that makes it to like Birmingham or somewhere like that. And he decides, well, fuck it, I've made it all the way up here. I might as well do a pitch invasion. And he rushes the whole like home end on his own, going, come on, waving his hands in the air. Like, what are you doing? I married a dog. I mean, I can't not rush him, can I? And the police just come on and just one grabs hold of each arm and they just walk him off the pitch. And then the interview of him later was like, yeah, I would have fucking had him, mate. Dude, there was about 8,000 of them. What you gonna do?
It's the sort of consistency of behaviour you expect from a national treasure such as Harry the Dog.
Harry the Dog, yeah. It's a great watch. I'd recommend watching it. It's good because it shows the idiocracy of football hooliganism, and anyone that's into that kind of lifestyle would probably watch that and think, Jesus Christ, if I come across like that, what a prick. I'm not going to be bothered doing this anymore. Maybe I'll take up wrestling to take out my frustrations.
Maybe it's a better use of your time.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
on the subject, we've been discussing Bobby the Brain Heenan. You also do a bit of managing inside the squared circle.
I do.
Shall we go into the Briggs brothers before we go
Yes,
into Reverend, or it's totally up to you?
love to. I mean, the should we flip it the other way around? Flip it the other way around if that's cool.
Yeah, of
Because
course.
the Reverend was where I started. Started off playing I still am, but obviously with COVID, there's not been any bookings or anything. I played the Reverend, who is the spiritual advisor for the St George's Champion, which is EWW, which is based down in Hastings and Sussex. Who the EWW champion is Mr. Lenny Lawless. Yeah, so we've done a few shows for them down there, maybe 4 or 5, sort of big shows, very well supported on that side of the coast. Great setup, great people. It's run by a guy called Stu Allen, who was the Dominator. I don't know whether you've ever heard of him. Again, top guy, really good guy in the industry. Can't say enough good things about him. Really, they're good people. If you ever see a show pop up, you should get yourself along. It's definitely a fun-filled evening for all. But yeah, I play a priest called the Reverend, who's obviously a little bit up to no good. Hit people with my Bible and stuff. But that was my start. I was given the contact details for a guy called John Moores, who was doing tryouts. But I never wanted to try out to be a wrestler because I'm not big enough and I'm not good enough and I don't like getting hurt. So a comedian friend who knew him said, I know a guy that's really good at talking. Can he come down and try out for a management role? And I did. And they threw me in at the deep end and I cut a few off the cuff promos. And they liked it. And next thing you know, I'm a priest beating people up with a with a Bible and advising the second tier champion in their organisation.
Oh, excellent! It's nice because that sort of unravels the mystery of how to get into kind of the wrestling industry for me, because it seemed like unless you wanted to be a wrestler, it was a bit of a networking intense kind of industry. You have to like know people to get a shot of your foot in the door kind of thing.
I think again I can't really speak sort of with a lot of authority on it because I've not been doing it as long as some of the guys, but I didn't know anything about the tryouts, probably because I wasn't that kind of way inclined. I was more of a fan than wanting to participate. I always wanted to get involved, but didn't think I was strong enough, had the physical attributes to kind of do that because it's hard work, man.
Yeah.
And I generally didn't think I'd be able to. And it was obviously talking to a friend of mine who said, "Oh, I'm going down to see my mate who is a wrestling coach. They're doing tryouts." I said, "Oh, I've always wanted to do like management or ring announcing or kind of I don't know, commentating, etc." And we had a good old chat in the pub. And he was like, "Oh, you quite know quite a lot about wrestling." I said, "Yeah, been to it a while," kind of thing. He said, "Let me speak to John, Mr. Moores, and see if you can pop down." And I went and hung out and saw the people and had a chat and told them what I was interested in, and we had a bit of a wrestling talk. And they went, "Well, why don't you give it a go?" And that was it. They gave me my opportunity. John Moores gave me my opportunity, and kind of the rest sort of evolved from that. But right place, right time, maybe.
Yeah, it certainly worked out, and my ambition was to, get involved in an announcement or a management capacity for the similar reasons to you. I'm a shorter gent, and I have an aversion to pain.
Because even the training's pain. I go to the so now, yeah, the evolution. Sorry, jumping in. The evolution is there's because I was going to Sussex down to Hastings, which is a bit of a trot because I live in North Kent, so it's kind of like a 2-hour journey there and about an hour and a half journey back. But there was a promotion, a new promotion that's just started up in North Kent near us called Genesis Pro Wrestling. Again, I'd urge people to go and look up the websites. I mean, if we can put links in or whatever.
Oh, definitely.
and it's run and owned by the guy that did my tryout, Mr. John Moores. And again, he's an absolute legend. He's been numerous tag team titles on the indie scene. He retired recently as the character Cinders. So again, all names to look up, and a really, really nice guy. And he started his own promotion. They were a bit light on the ground for sort of tag teams and managers, etc. So we kind of got our heads together and came up with a duo called the Briggs Brothers, which is myself and a big old bruiser of a fella called the Bully Briggs. There's only been one official kind of pay-per-view style show because COVID come in and took our legs out a little bit. But yeah, it's a great promotion. It really is on the forefront of indie wrestling. The storylines, the builds of the characters are very much sort of what they should be. You know, they kind of it makes you want to come back. I believe they've got some of their matches, or they've got links with Wrestle TV as well. Yeah, so Gen Pro, it's definitely something to get involved with. We've got a Facebook page for the Briggs Brothers. There's lots of kind of Cockney geezer villain promos on there if people want to go and watch and wet their whistle, which will direct them to other people on the roster. I mean, check out the Gen Pro champion is the Damned. He's a scary, scary fella.
That's a good name.
The Damned. Yeah.
Like, because damned usually implies obviously more, plural, but the damned, just one person. I enjoy that.
Yeah, he's a great character. Great character. It's terrifying. Terrifying. I don't like being in the ring with him, to be fair. He scares the living bejesus out of me. He's a beast. He's a monster.
Yeah, so what do you personally look for in characters, wrestlers that you personally identify with? Like, what kind of wets your whistle, makes you want to see a wrestler again?
Well, I think I like the build. I like to be invested into a character. I have to believe them. We do. If I don't believe what you're saying, or I don't believe you as a character, I'm not gonna invest into you. If I don't believe that you believe what you're saying, does that make sense?
Yeah,
I'm kind of switching off.
Authenticity.
So, yeah, definitely, and it's that kind of. I don't know what does hook me in. I think because I flip flop as well. I've gone from characters that I really really enjoyed to maybe a year or two later going, I'm done with this now. I'm done with this, and then going completely the other way. So I don't know. I do quite like the background and the story. I can't see the point in two people fighting for no reason. For example, Royal Rumble that's coming up, Goldberg versus McIntyre. Why? What? Goldberg comes back and goes, "Oh, you're disrespecting me."
Has he?
Yeah, raw. Give me a title shot. All right then. Well, what's the point? I don't care. It's ridiculous. There's no what?
Yeah.
Why?
At this point, it's getting a bit. I brought my dad to work day. I hope that's okay.
But you see what I mean? That match to me at the Rumble, that's my piss break match. And I know it's a title match, it's a championship match, but I don't care. I'm not interested. I'm not invested.
Yeah.
I'm not invested. If they'd put, I don't know, McIntyre up against somebody else, then and I'm not.
Maybe Keith Lee, something like that.
Or maybe Sheamus or something like that. Something that's got a little bit of they're friends and it's like what's going on, and is one of them going to turn heel, or are they going to hug afterwards, or let's see what happens. But for Goldberg to walk down, spout absolute nonsensical bollocks, disrespect the champion, push the champion over, and then ask to fight him for the title because the champion was disrespectful, makes no sense.
No.
Bloody nowhere. It's just, let's get Goldberg on the marquee and people will buy the pay-per-view.
Yeah.
I don't
like it's the Royal Rumble. It's worth our time paying his fee,
It's like why? And you've got so many little spin-off stories going around that you could have pushed into the limelight. For example, why didn't Shinsuke Nakamura come out and say, well, hang on a minute, I got screwed here. Where's my title shot?
Yeah.
And then had Shinsuke Nakamura against Drew McIntyre at the Rumble. Now that I would have watched that because you've got the quicker, more agile, faster man against the big man. That's a good little dynamic there. But,
and you've got two of the best workers in the world in the ring. Like you can have a much better and longer match with Nakamura and McIntyre than Goldberg and McIntyre.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I mean, Nakamura won the gauntlet and then got screwed out of it, and they just went, "Oh well."
Yeah.
Why? Cesaro's been on TV more than Nakamura has since then. Surely he should have been doing the whole CM Punk angle. I was screwed. Where's my ice poles?
Yeah.
I mean, but why? Why did that just drop? I don't know. I just don't see the point in having matches for the sake of matches. They should have some kind of relevance or build to them. But then, having said that, you did have that feud between Kane and Jericho that was over a spilt cup of coffee.
Yeah.
So am I talking bollocks? I don't know.
I think sometimes you can have something really organic out of nothing, but it can't be sort of forced. You know, you can tell when something's just been sort of rammed in there without any rhyme or reason beyond, it's Goldberg. And it kind of takes me out of it knowing that beyond Rumble, Rumble, WrestleMania, SummerSlam are the only times he'll realistically show up, other than if Saudi Arabia wants to give him more money,
Yeah, it's just, I don't like that just for the sake of it. There has to be a reason to it. Like, someone comes out to the ring and calls someone else out for no reason. You just think, well, why? I don't walk into work and go, I really hate that bloke on the third floor. Never spoke to him, never had any action with him, don't really know anything about him. But, I'm going to nick his pens when he's not looking, because I'm a villain. What? Why? I don't know you. I don't give a crap about you.
Yeah.
There should be some kind of, even if it's a massively long throwback. Do you remember when we were a tag team and you got injured and then you went off to another company and blah, 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 and now you've come back? Well, I still haven't forgot what you've done to me, and this is what I'm going to do to you. And you think, oh, hello. Or maybe he's going to get his one-upmanship. Marty Jannetty coming back to fight Shawn Michaels 10 years later.
Yeah.
Shit, because you think, he threw him through a fucking window.
Yeah.
Of course he's still going to hold a little bit of a grudge.
I'd still be pretty peeved at someone if they'd done that to me. It makes sense.
And then with the payoff, you get 2 matches out of Jannetty, and then he's gone. But the fans, us, the people that watch the product, will watch it because we are invested. We understand there is a path to that, whether it took 6 weeks to get to or 6 years to get to. To just throw Goldberg into the ring because he's Goldberg, well, I don't care, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I lost interest in Goldberg after his initial feud with Brock Lesnar dried up, because I thought that was genuinely fun and it was a nice little throwback, and they got the reaction that feud deserved, rather than when their both initial WWE runs where it got booed out of the fucking building.
Yeah.
But since then, and especially after what happened to The Fiend, which just infuriated me, I've just had no time for Goldberg personally.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and you say about The Fiend as well. Why are they insistent on putting the belt on The Fiend? He doesn't need it. That's not meant to be this boogeyman spiritual from another realm coming to take your soul. Oh, I'm going to fight for that little gold belt thing now that means nothing to me, because I am more than that. I am more than the company. I'm more than just fighting for trinkets. I'm here to take your soul, a la the new Undertaker.
Yeah.
You stick the belt on him, then someone's going to have to beat him to take it off him. And then instantly the aura of him being this monster that is impervious to pain is gone. You've ruined it.
Yeah.
Don't put it in. Doesn't need it.
Like, the only thing you could do is have him in like a multiple man match and have someone pin someone else, so he doesn't technically lose the belt, but that's quite predictable when they book themselves into a jam like that. But a kind of irrational, well, he's finally the new face of fear, but that sort of being wouldn't have rational motivations, or it'd be motivated more by revenge on particular people for his past career, because from what I understand of The Fiend, is he's kind of like a manifestation of like, someone's alternate personality or mental disorder.
Have you seen? Did you ever see the Hollywood? God, blimey, The Halloween stories that WWE done, where it was superstars telling sort of spooky stories and stuff like that. Bray
Yeah,
Wyatt,
the one Bray Wyatt did.
and with the yellow eyes.
Yeah.
That's what it was called. Yeah, if you go back and listen to that one, he's basically describing the Fiend because he gets lost in the woods. Sister Abigail comes looking for him. They're all terrified because you shouldn't go into the woods because there's the man with the yellow eyes. And
Yeah.
then they can't find Bray. Sister Abigail, spoilers by the way, people, right? Sister Abigail then sees Bray, or she sees the yellow eyes, panics and thinks, holy shit, the man with the yellow eyes is coming to get me. And it turns out it's Bray. And at that point, he was already sowing the seeds of his possession from the Fiend, right? And the Fiend is feeding off his hatred and his past failures, hence the John Cena match. But yeah, so that's kind of where it sits. So he's not of this world. The same reflects into Alexa Bliss when she turns into that hair up, black eye makeup, Fiend in her contact lenses, getting slapped and dodging punches like something out of the Matrix, because she's then been possessed by that essence of the Fiend. So why would he go, yeah, whoa, coming to get you, I live in the woods for 1,000 years. Oh, that's a nice belt. Oh, I wouldn't mind having that. Thanks very much.
You go with my trainers.
It's absolutely. Could we get this in a spinner? Any chance to put my face on a spinner on this?
Yeah. The bespoke Fiend belt sort of looked like it was parodying the Necronomicon from Evil Dead.
Just awful. It was going on the WWE network for about $7,000, wasn't it?
$7,000.
Grand it was on their network for. I'm sure if you look, I think it's still on there. If you're on WWE shop, I think it was about £7,000 they were asking for that belt.
Because no one wants it. Oh no. The
sad thing is, in 5 years, it'll probably be worth £70,000, won't it?
Most likely. Well, I don't have the money to make that sort of investment right now.
No.
Yeah, from what I understand, it kind of not too dissimilar, the Fiend, to the Thing,
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Possesses people, can look like anything or anyone, sort of, very similar. Very good.
I believe there was talk, I don't know whether it is a thing or it's what the Alexa Bliss thing evolved into, was that they were going to, because we said about the Fiend losing, or Bray Wyatt losing, that the Fiend would be able to pass from person to person, so they would be able to move the gimmick onto different wrestlers.
Yeah.
So, for example, if there was a feud with Daniel Bryan and they had 2 or 3 matches, and then Bryan comes out as winning, a couple of weeks later, you might see a bit more of a sadistic side about him, and he slowly starts to, and then he starts becoming fiendish.
Yeah.
And then take the mantle of the Fiend with that "Let Me In" kind of logo and the eyes and the stares. And then once he got defeated, it would move, like you said. So the Thing, it would skip like an entity, a possession, from person to person, which I think would be quite a good idea, because every wrestler's got their own creative take on a character. I mean, to see someone like MVP go as the Fiend, or Bobby Lashley as the Fiend, and then for it to jump into someone like Morrison or Mysterio would be, you're getting different versions of it. It would stay fresh, I think, but who knows? I don't know. What do I know?
That may be too interesting and creative for, not, well, obviously Bray could pull it off, but WWE creative as a whole, I don't have the faith with anything like that concept.
Yeah,
considering they spent a year trying to make Rusev look like a cuck,
Yeah, and I think as well, I suppose there's a lot of copyright issue here as well. If you went to someone like Mysterio, I know you've been Rey Mysterio Jr. for like 150 years, but yeah, fuck that off now. We're gonna put you in the Fiend mask. It's gonna be the Fiend now. He's more likely to go, "Are you mental?" No, I'm not doing that.
And do you know how much money I sell with these merch I sell with these fucking masks, mate?
Anyone that hasn't got a brand that isn't that lucrative, do you really want them wearing the Fiend mantle? Oh, there we go. Some bloke from the mid card or NXT that no one's ever heard of. He's now the Fiend. Why is he the Fiend? Because no one else wanted to give up their logos or trademarks.
You'd have to be You'd have to be very careful with something like that. Yeah. I love how we started from a rant about Goldberg, but because I with the predictions thing, because I don't want to spend too much time on that match because it has little. I don't think it's particularly interesting. No offense to Drew McIntyre,
No, I
but
mean, Drew's a great performer, and in his day, Goldberg was over like Rover, man. I mean, I remember watching WCW and just thinking, this geezer's is an animal. He's amazing.
yeah,
Obviously younger, but it's had its day. It's like, move the fuck on, you know what I mean?
yeah. I mean, I'm fine with part timers coming in. You like Goldberg, The Rock,
Mm.
Lesnar, and for the big pay-per-views for an attraction, as long as it's nowhere near, as long as it's not in the title picture,
Yeah,
because otherwise they just hold it up. Really, I feel.
or if there's a payoff to it. I mean, again, I said about flip flopping. I remember watching Brock Lesnar coming back as a part timer and winning the title. I can't remember who he won it from now. Was it Seth Rollins or Reigns? I can't remember, but he won the title, and then you didn't see him for weeks on end. And it was like, oh, he's a part timer. He's got the belt. Why they put the belt on him? But then after a while, I got to kind of quite like the fact that he wasn't around all the time, and when he turned up, it was an event. And
Yeah,
then finally lost the belt when Rollins curb stomped him. I popped. I was like, yes, get the belt back on TV. And the build
yeah,
for that was great because that's Heyman. Paul Heyman was the brains beyond that because he knew it would piss people off. He knew that it would wind people up. And he knew that when Brock dropped the title, people would lose their shit.
yeah,
That's story building. That's how you build the stories of old to keep people invested. Every time Brock come on, I watched because I wanted someone to beat him. I wanted that shock value of, oh my God, he's beat him. The
yeah,
same way Goldberg done him in 40 odd seconds. It was
yeah,
shit. But me and my mates went, oh my God. And we talked about it for days.
yeah. I lost my mind for that because it was just like it was really unexpected because I hadn't. No one's done that to Brock Lesnar. Like nobody had at that point.
Yeah. But it was, that's what I mean. We're kind of going full circle again, aren't we, on the Bobby the Brain Heenan and the Paul Heyman kind of genius behind the story writing and storytelling was Heyman has said, I mean, I don't know if you've seen any of the shoot talks with Heyman. He turned around and said that he knew it was going to be shit, and he knew a lot of people were going to give him slack for like crap for it. But he knew that the pop would have people talking, or the shock, sorry, would have people talking for days, and that's what you want. You want people talking about the product. Where has Brock gone? Like, I mean, if he's destroying people, Suplex City, and doing the old, what is it, 7 or 8 Germans on John Cena and taking him out, one of the
Yeah,
sort of most prolific champions in wrestling history.
just mauling him.
Yeah, and then Goldberg comes through and tears him up in less than a minute. I'm now invested.
Yeah,
I'm invested because I want to know what is going on. Who booked this? Why is this happening? What? If he's doing that to Lesnar, who the hell is going to stop this old man? So it's about that investment. That's what really pulls me in, and that's what I love about the wrestling. It's the build, it's the background, it's the, oh my God, I have to watch next week to find out what's happening.
yeah. I have to stay up to date with this. I have to pencil it in my schedule somehow.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like, even if you just I catch the highlights on the train to work sometimes, just because I need to know what happened.
I mean, I'm the same where I'm watching people like recap it if I can't be asked to watch the whole thing,
Yeah, done that. Been there. Yeah, done that.
Yeah.
The Paul Heyman shoot interviews on YouTube are very good if you've not seen them.
Definitely worth anyone's time. Like his work with Inside the Ropes and just give that man a microphone, essentially.
Yeah. Oh my God, that I'm not going to say anything about it because I don't want to spoil it. But if you're into following up that and having a look, Inside the Ropes talk that Heyman does about Brock Lesnar beating the streak. That's all I'm saying on the subject. Go and watch it.
Yeah.
Go, and you're just make sure you wear a hat because your mind will be blown.
A firm hat with lots of space.
You know what? Just go and buy yourself a crash helmet beforehand.
But yeah, who do you think? How do you think that will go? Like, are you going for McIntyre or Goldberg on that one?
You know what? My head says it should be McIntyre. But, no, sorry, my heart says it's McIntyre. It has to be McIntyre. It just has to be for the validity of the belt, the continuity of all the people he's beat in the past, like the Keith Lees, etc., etc. It can't be Goldberg. It just can't. Because if it is, he's a transitional champion. There's no way Goldberg's holding that belt for 100 days. It's not happening. It's just not happening. So if you want to drop the belt, if Drew has to drop the belt, don't drop it to Goldberg. If you need a transitional champion, I'm sure there's plenty of people that you could put in that spot. But it has to be McIntyre, doesn't it? I mean, my heart really, really wants it to be McIntyre, but that little voice in my head that's been watching wrestling since I was like 10 has gone, well, you know what Vince is like.
Yeah. Goldberg being champ going into WrestleMania, that seems very much his line of thinking.
And then where do we go from there? Do we get a unification title with Reigns, or I don't know. It's just and who wins the Rumble? You know?
I
don't know.
I think it's got to be Drew.
Isn't it?
Yeah, I'll be very disappointed if it's not.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know whether and again, I'm going to sound really cynical. I don't know whether the whole, oh no, I'm off TV because I've got COVID is to build for either sympathy that, he's been really ill and yet he's still come back and won. What a fighting champion and man of the people. Or is that, well, he's had COVID, he's not been able to train properly. That's why Goldberg beat him. So
it gives him some sort of out, you know?
Yeah, so I'm now second guessing myself on that and just thinking, don't do it.
I'm trying to enforce optimism. Like they won't do it though, will they? Will they?
Yeah.
Will they?
But every time you go, they can't do that. That little voice goes 21-1.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh yeah, shit.
You'll soon end up convincing yourself out of it, won't it?
Yeah, it's awful. But yeah, it's got to be Drew. It has to be Drew. For the love of God, to the wrestling gods, let it be Drew, for fuck's sake. Yeah.
Yeah, so both for Drew. That's nice to have some sort of optimistic agreement. There's only been 3 other matches other than the Rumbles announced.
Yeah.
Asuka and Charlotte Flair against Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler.
What you got?
WWE not particularly known for the quality of their tag team division. Yeah. Still pissed off that they disbanded the Iconics.
I was just about to say that. Took the words out of my mouth.
Yeah. Why do they have to split up every team at the moment? It's not like they have plenty of tag teams.
Yeah, I mean, they split the Iconics, and I thought, okay, well, what is it? Payton Royce and Billy Kay are going off on their separate runs, and there's going to be some title pushes. Because why else would you break them up? They're childhood friends. They've got great chemistry together. They're very there's traits of maybe DX in there, maybe with their friendship outside of the wrestling world, and there's something here. They split them up and then put them into other tag teams.
Yeah.
Well, if you're going to put them as tag team wrestlers with Lacey Evans and whoever Billy Kay's been lumbered with the last couple of months, right? Why split them up in the first place?
Yeah.
You've established tag team champions with genuine chemistry and a genuine childhood friendship to split them up to put them with random singles.
You've got like a known quantity, and then now you've got 2 worse versions of the same thing.
Yeah, exactly. It just, I don't know. It's just, we need Triple H in charge, I think, don't we? I don't think Triple H would have done that.
I'm waiting for him to pull out a coup when Vince tries to heat up his steaks with a hairdryer or something like that.
Does he heat them up? I just thought he bit them straight off the cow.
Yeah. He's just got one on a spit. He just takes bites out of it.
God damn it, Stephanie! Bring me that cow. They just push the whole cow into his office. That's what that thing is on the wall of his office. It's not a Tyrannosaurus Rex head. It's all the leftover bones from the raw cows he's been eating during the 3-hour presentation.
Jim Cornette's saying he only really eats fruit and protein bars, and he seems like food is something by him to be attacked. He's just like angry. He just needs to eat it to survive. So he sort of resents it.
How dare you limit me?
You're just like he can't handle being dependent on anything.
The thing is, I'm laughing because my mind's like, I can see it, and I totally believe it. Totally believe it.
So have you heard that rumor that he gets angry when people sneeze? Like
Yes,
he views sneezing as a sign of weakness.
Yeah. He's like, didn't he say to who was it? Was it Paul London? When Paul London sneezed or something, he said, "Sorry, I can't help it." And he was like, "Of course you can. It's a bodily function. Control your bodily functions." And he was like, "What? It's a sign of weakness. God damn it! Hold that shit in. It's a sneeze."
But yeah, who have you got for the women's tag title?
I have got Baszler and Jax.
I'm going to boringly agree with you as well because Asuka and Charlotte Flair seem like they're needed elsewhere for WrestleMania, and Jax and Baszler seem to be not doing anything else and be established as a team.
Yeah,
you know.
Again, I totally agree. I think, like what we were saying with the Iconics, I think what you've got there is when you think of women's division tag team wrestlers, the first people you think of is Baszler and Jax, just because there isn't anyone else.
Yeah, exactly. Especially since the Kabuki Warriors split up and Asuka and Charlotte Flair have just kind of been thrown together. You know,
that doesn't feel right because of the absolute war that they went through very recently.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I can just see some kind of shenanigans happening, and maybe down at WrestleMania you'll have Charlotte versus Asuka for the title because that's a guaranteed kind of easy win for the promotion, isn't it? It's like, don't worry about pushing anybody else new or pushing anyone that's been reinvented like Carmella or whatever.
Or Rhea Ripley.
Yeah, or any of them guys. But that works. So we'll just go back to that because that's just easy, isn't it? So I can see maybe one costing the other one and them having a fallout, and it ends up with them being the card for WrestleMania and Michael all that. Oh my God, guys, could you remember what happened last time? Oh my God.
Yeah. And continuity.
Loads of videoettes on every show, slow motion, black and white kicks and punches. I can see it all happening, unfortunately.
Yeah, you want a new thing? Well, how about you go fuck yourself?
yeah. That should be the tagline underneath the big WW that they have on the screen. You know, it says like, is it now something and forever? Then now forever. It should be go fuck yourself.
You want to give us money and want to, give us feedback about things you'd want to see and would make you want to watch our product more? Fuck you.
Well,
Here's Lana getting banged by Bobby Lashley.
I saw, moving swiftly along, I saw that, the network's just been sold to Peacock or whatever it is in America. So I'm hosting service. They broke down the financial gains from WWE from Fox and the USA Network for SmackDown and Raw, and now selling the network to Peacock. The WWE made, I think it was just under £700 million or $1 million, sorry.
Holy shit.
Just from the TV rights and streaming rights, which is now why they don't give a fuck about what the fans think, because it's not bums on seats and ticket sales anymore, is it?
It's already paid for. They've already got their money.
When you had 92,000 people in the Silver Dome, brother, they were bums on seats and pay-per-view tickets that people had spent £10 to watch on their telly.
Yeah.
Now, Vince is like, don't like it, fuck off. What are you going to do? 600 million in the bank, mate, just by putting it on the bloody screen. So, who cares?
Yeah. What are you going to do? We've already got the money. I own the majority shares.
Yeah.
I will die. You will die before I do.
Yeah, so I think that's where the product's kind of lost its way a little bit, where it's not, if we don't put on a good show, people are not going to come, and if people don't come, we're not going to make any money, and we're all going to be bankrupt. Now it's like 600 million to show my product on the online. Yeah, crack on. I'm happy with that. Yeah, so I don't know. I've said that a lot tonight. I don't know.
I mean, not being funny. It's not like the British independent scene will be back when the government allows it. But we've also got, kind of a really good outside of WWE wrestling climate. Like Impact have gotten good again. Like I'm surprised that promotion isn't dead 7 times over. We've got AEW, we've got New Japan, which is becoming more accessible for Western audiences. Ring of Honor have started to do bits again, apparently, but I haven't watched it in a while.
Yeah, I mean, there's a whole nother podcast about the Impact and AEW sort of linking in, kind of exchange of talent. So I mean, but that's an hour conversation in itself, isn't it? But
definitely. But at least like there's stuff to cleanse your palates. Like I'll always go back to WWE for some bits, like the Royal Rumble, obviously, and takeovers. But at least there's something if you want, if you don't want a chicken sandwich every day, you might want a burger or a steak,
But that's the thing. What I find people understand is that it is when you've been into the wrestling for so long, it then becomes part of your life, like football does, or like any other kind of sport that you might be into, rugby, etc. Because I will sit and I watch a god awful shit show on Raw and think, you know what, I'm done. I am absolutely done. I'm not watching this anymore. This is utter bollocks. And then I won't watch next week. And then the week after, I'll go, oh, Raw's on tonight. And I'll put it on. And I'll sit there going, this is fucking terrible. I'll still watch all 3 hours and then bitch about it to my missus, who couldn't care less while I'm laying in bed. I can't believe they didn't do that. That was an open goal. Why don't they just have Lesnar do this? And then I'll go, I'm not watching it anymore. And I'll text my mate going, fuck wrestling, I'm done. And then I'll text him 2 hours later going, so do you reckon he's going to win the Rumble? Right? It's in the blood, man. You can't.
Yeah, you're hooked in. It's a drug. You can look at yourself in the mirror, at 3 a.m, going, "Why do I do this to myself?" But you always go back.
Yeah, absolutely. But then I think that's the soap opera of the professional wrestling, because to throw the comparisons, my wife will not watch a soap opera, EastEnders Coronation Street, for months on end, and then watch 2 or 3 episodes, and by the end of the week, she's like, "Oh, I'm gonna have to record this. It's brilliant. This is so and so, and that's her cousin, and I'm like, you haven't watched it forever." She's like, "I know, but it's back in the day, he was married to her," and she's instantly back into it again, and that's what wrestling's like. It doesn't take a lot to pull you back into that kind of addiction to it, or that kind of needing to know what's happening next.
Yeah. It's just something default, especially when I've got a whole lot of nothing to do. It's pretty easy, digestible to go, I'll just check out wrestling. Just kind of as a passive, instinctive reflex. Like you might, when you're not thinking, just be eating something because you're bored or having a fag.
Yeah.
Yeah. This next one is one of the ones I'm most excited about. I think this could be like a really good match. Roman Reigns versus Kevin Owens, last man standing match.
Right, okay.
What do you think of? Do you think they'll take the title off Roman now, or he seems pretty dead on for WrestleMania?
I think Roman at the moment is probably doing some of his best work I think he's ever done.
Oh, absolutely.
And at the moment, the company is kind of hanging on him. There's nobody else that really kind of grabs the attention like Reigns does at the moment. So I don't think they're going to take the belt off him. I just don't think they will. I think Kevin's going to be the plucky underdog, Rocky type character that comes so close and never gives up. But so he will literally be knocked out. But he won't give up. He won't be pinned. He will literally keep getting up. And because it's a last man standing match, there'll be loads of shenanigans going on. And I think is it Jay or Jimmy I can't always get them too muddled up. I think whichever one's injured will come back and start to join the tribe and get involved as well. It'll be like a 3-on-1. But yeah, I think they will keep the belt on Reigns because he is, to use the Vince McMahon allergy, he is money at the moment, isn't he?
Yeah, he is the money. So, and I never thought I'd be saying that about Roman Reigns because
no, especially after the John Cena promo.
Yeah. Oh no. Just suffering succotash and just him being very obviously inauthentically forced into kind of the good guy kind of role.
Yeah.
I mean, he was a Rocky Maivia, like a contemporary Rocky Maivia. It was just too white meat babyface, and people weren't having it because it just felt like wrong.
Yeah, no, definitely. But I think he's gonna. I think he's gonna keep the belt. I was shouting at the TV a little bit when they were doing the Adam Pearce angle because they could have gone in such a better way than that. But I think Owens had run his course. He tried like twice or three times, I think it was, to unseat Roman, and had come up short every time. I'm like, well, I'm done. Kevin's had his moment. Move on. I was saying to a friend of mine, what would have been a great storyline, might still happen, I don't know, would be that it's a last man standing match with Adam Pearce, and then during the match, because it's last man standing and there's no DQ, the Brock Lesnar's music plays, and Lesnar comes in and tears through Reigns, and Pearce wins the title. Bear with me, right? Tears, and while Roman's on the floor, broken, and the Usos are on the outside of the ring, broken by Brock Lesnar. Lesnar gives it all to Bunny, and Paul Heyman opens up Monday Night Raw or whatever show with Brock Lesnar, and does a big promo saying, "Do you really think I was going to be your advocate? You're a little bitch. You're nobody. Yeah, this was done to weaken you for WrestleMania." And then Pearce takes the belt into WrestleMania. Brock does in one F5 and takes the title.
That would have been quite funny, to be fair.
Because you imagine the hate that would be hit on social media for that.
Yeah.
You know, we said about when Goldberg done it to Lesnar. If you flipped it around, flipped the switch and had Lesnar do it to Adam Pearce, you should never have been champion. So you would have 3 or 4 weeks of people going, "Oh, I can't believe they've given it to an admin guy. Oh, it's a disgrace. They've devalued the belt. Bitch, 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 bitch. Lesnar's a part-timer. Bitch, 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 bitch." And then Lesnar actually wins the belt as well.
Yeah.
Oh my God, people would lose their fucking mind. They would lose their mind.
That would have been wonderful. That would be wonderful.
Right?
I would enjoy it.
Wouldn't they? And then you have Kevin Owens put back into the title scene and have him win. So not only has he come back from all that adversity and being beaten down by the Usos and by Roman Reigns, not only has he now come back into the title scene, he's facing Brock Lesnar, the Beast, and he beats him. So he's climbed an even bigger mountain than Reigns. What a fairy tale story! It's a Daniel Bryan moment at WrestleMania. But nah, fuck it. We'll just shoot our load a couple of months early. No? But what do I know about anything? I'm just some ploppy. I don't know anything, do I?
I've just given it some thought, you know.
Yeah, I just thought that might make a good story. Because why the fuck is Paul Heyman with Roman Reigns, and why is Roman Reigns allowing Paul Heyman to be with him for all the shit that they have thrown at him over the years? Hello, I know you're in charge now. I'm Paul Heyman. Can I be your friend? Yes, you can.
Yeah.
No, fuck off.
Especially how historically he's turned on most of his friends, including Brock Lesnar himself.
Yeah, and you could have had the whole thing where, the contract signing where he's like, "Oh yeah, Adam Pearce has signed it." You could have had Paul Heyman going, "But you don't want him to sign a singles match. I mean, you want to teach him a lesson. Thinks he's got rolls around here, thinking he runs the place. You're the head of the table, mate. You run this place. Teach him make it a no disqualification match." Roman Reigns goes, "Yeah, that's what I pay you for, to advise me. Let's make it a no disqualification match." Heyman has a little cheeky little smile, a little bit of a wink to camera. Now it's no DQ. Brock Lesnar comes back, fuck shit up. But no, it's fine. Yeah. I've only been watching wrestling for 35 years. What do I know about anything?
Nothing. You're thinking about it too much. You're thinking of it logically. That's where you're going wrong.
How dare you?
Yeah. How I wanted to wrap up is, if that's all right with you,
absolutely.
We were going to go through the women's and the men's Royal Rumble. Although I'm only doing competitors that have been announced, but we're going to go through kind of like 1 to 5, 1 being least, 1 being like most likely that they'll
win. Oh, okay.
Are you down for that?
Yeah, I might have to have a little bit of a think because I've only sort of been thinking about who I think's going to win. But yeah, okay. Yeah, I'm
Yeah, I
up for
just
it.
thought likelihood might be making it more interesting than both having like one solid prediction, you know?
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So what? So starting at 5, are we the least likely?
Start. Yeah. Or I was gonna like name a like competitor, and then you just kind of rate them across like 1 to 5.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. Sorry, mate. Completely misinterpret what you said there. Yeah, brilliant. Yeah, let's do that.
No worries. First we got for the women's Nia Jax. Like what? Well, she's already wrestling on the card. Like
Yeah.
she seems to be pretty tied up for the tag. I mean, I'd say like 2. What about
So,
you?
so 2 is 5 is most likely to win, and 1 is least likely to win, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. No, I'd agree. I've got to say about a 1 or a 2 because, like you said, yeah, she's tied up with the tag program. They are basically the only tag kind of wrestlers on in the women's division, and also as well, would you trust her in a main in a number one contender spot?
No.
She's quite prone to causing injury, isn't she? So, would you really trust her to be in there with your top guys and girls? Because anything could go wrong in a promo or a week beforehand, and you end up injuring the champion. So I don't think so. No. Yeah, probably about a 1 or a 2. It's got to be right near the bottom, and it'll be
Yeah,
a big pop as well, or a big spot. Sorry, when she gets thrown out because she's quite a big girl, isn't she? So
yeah.
oh
She's
my
one of
god,
the harder ones, isn't she?
yeah, she's kind of like your Mark Henry, your Kane type characters, isn't she? Like powerhouses.
Yeah. I like her. Like, I
Yeah,
think she has a good look and all of that, but I just she's not the safest worker. I don't think that's a
no,
controversial stance to take.
I don't think you could put the belt on her. I mean, she's got the charisma. She's getting better every week, but I just don't. I can't see the belt on her. Maybe one day, but not. Not now.
Not now. Give it a
Yeah,
couple years. Yeah.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Next we've got Charlotte Flair. Definitely has to be one of the favourites, even though she's already on the card.
Yeah,
Surely you can't discount
yeah.
her ever.
Flair, isn't it? It's like yeah, she's got to be like a 4, I'd say, because Charlotte Flair, isn't it?
Yeah.
Safe hands. Vince and the company seem to be like, if in doubt, give it to Charlotte. NXT champion, nah, give it to Charlotte. What? Sorry, I thought this was a developmental kind of place to show off new talent. Yeah, nah, fuck it. Let's give Charlotte the belt down there.
Yeah.
So she's got to be in with a shout because of who she is. It just sad,
Yeah,
but
she's just one of the big, especially since Becky Lynch went on maternity leave. She's one of the money draws in the
yeah,
division.
absolutely. Yeah, so she's got to be. It's got to be a 4 on that one.
Yeah, I mean she's literally headlined WrestleMania, so
Yeah, absolutely.
she's got the CV for it, hasn't she?
Yeah, definitely.
Next, Bianca Belair, who I rate quite highly, but I don't think they're gonna. I think she's probably like a 3.
Yeah, middle of the road. I'd have to agree. To be honest with you, she annoys me. she annoys me with she's just too freaking positive. Yeah, I'll beat you at an assault course. Yeah, look at me skipping with my hair. Oh yeah, I'm the EST. I'm the best at this because I'm so positive. It's like, yeah, just stop it now. I've had a shit day. Just be a little bit sad.
Or a bit
Yeah,
angry.
yeah,
Just
great
something.
great wrestler, amazing performer, but when she's on the screen, if she's on the screen for longer than a couple of minutes, I'm like, God, you fucking annoy me with your positivity.
Yeah.
It's too happy. Stop it.
Too cynical for it. Too cynical.
Too old and jaded for all that crap.
But yeah, again, like I think she's got a couple more rumbles in her before she gets to one of
Still
the
very,
genuine
very
contenders.
yeah, she's still. I mean, if you look, she's only recently just come up from NXT, so there's still, I think, that kind of changing of the guard, cutting your teeth, all them other bloody metaphors that I could probably throw out at you. Where I think the locker room and the backstage will be like, she's good, but not yet. Again, not a Nia Jax, but maybe with a little bit more potential because of the gimmick. But with the hair, I
Yeah.
don't know. But yeah, she just stop being too positive, and then I'll like you. I'll give you a 4.
Yeah, someone who, again, I think probably one of the favourites, either a 4 or 5. I'm not sure. Bayley.
Every day, all
Yeah,
day. but I think Bayley is the top draw for the women's division at the moment. Her character work is fantastic. When she went from the hugger to the role model, is just, I love watching Bayley. I think Bayley's absolutely brilliant. I really enjoy her work.
Yeah,
The other one, the only other person I could say that can hold a candle to her at the moment is Asuka.
yeah,
But yeah, definitely up there. Especially now she's not holding the title neither.
yeah,
It's got to be a good on 4 or 5.
yeah. I'd probably go with like a 5, just because she's one of the more likely ones. But just because she'll be fresh, she doesn't have another match on the card, and I think they rarely ever do it where someone has another match on the card and wins the Rumble. So just
Yeah,
because of that.
yeah, no, totally agree. But like I said, like you said, she's got no title at the moment. She's got no other kind of distractions, and the fact that she's like the longest reigning women's champion, it'll be, yeah. There's a lot you can do with that. It's got to be. I didn't want to say 5 because I didn't want to sound overly confident, but now you've said it, I'm thinking maybe I should have as well.
Yeah, well, I go for the hot takes. Got to create controversy creates cash, doesn't it?
Yeah. But I do like Bayley. I really like Bayley. Total package. Her work in the ring's brilliant. Her character works brilliant. Her mic works brilliant. I really do like Bayley.
Yeah, she is one of the top women in
And
the company.
yeah, and I think that shows the fact that she's a wrestling fan. The
Yeah,
fact that she's been into wrestling her whole life shows she has an understanding for the business. She's not been an athlete or a track star or what I don't know, a cage fighter or whatever. She knows the business because she's watched it her whole life, and it shows. You can tell. I mean, AJ Lee was very similar. She's been in and around the wrestling her whole life. She kind of knows how to throw that kind of shade when you're a villain or a heel. But yeah, okay, yeah, definitely one of my favourites, Bayley.
yeah, it's certainly her body of work and especially since she's transitioned character, I've found a new lease of life because again, with the over positivity stuff, and I know the hugger was aimed at kids, but got kind of like ironically appreciated by the rest of the fan base because it was just fun. But
Yeah,
like it got a bit jarring, and it was necessary that they
yeah.
transitioned her to what
And
she
I
does
think
now.
and I think that's what made it more impactful when she did go from face to heel was the fact it was like the crying children kind of thing. It just gave that extra level of fuckeriness.
I do find that funny. Like, obviously when Bayley had their famous match against Sasha Banks, where Sasha broke her super fan's headpiece and head ribbon and made her cry. That was one of my favorite wrestling moments of that year. I paused it and replayed it like 5 times. It was so funny.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I've been at a Gen Pro wrestling show where a wrestler is called Furico. He's a Japanese or Oriental vampire with white face paint. Again, if you're listening to this, people, look him up. He's an amazing athlete, amazing wrestler. Furico, his name is. He screamed at a kid that was in the front row, and the kid just burst into tears. Obviously, he stayed in character and just got in the ring and did his thing. It's one of the greatest things I've ever seen. It was amazing. It was absolute. I hugged him for about 5 minutes afterwards, telling him he was my new hero. It was sick.
Always a good,
Fantastic. Yeah.
always a good time.
Yeah.
Next, we've got, and I think this might be kind of a difficult one to place because for like wrestling ability, you'd maybe discount her, but like Mandy Rose, like not the best in ring, but they
Yeah.
seem to have invested a lot in pushing her. Obviously, they had one of the low key sleeper hit angles of last year with Otis, which was great. But how do you see Mandy Rose's chances?
Um, I think I'd have to put a sort of at the high end of the twos, to be honest with you. I don't
Yeah,
think they will pull the trigger on her. I think if they were going to give her that opportunity to run like singly or give her a bit of a run in the spotlight, I think it would have been around the Otis time. I think that opportunity's been missed. And the reason I say that is because I think that the limelight or the focus has shifted from her to Camilla. Um, yeah, so I'd put her on the low end, to be honest. I don't think
yeah.
I don't think they'll. I think she's cannon fodder, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to put her as a 1 just because I can. There's other people with less chance, I think, in there, but definitely like a 2 because,
Yeah,
like you
definitely.
said, it feels like the train's left the station on that one, and that's
Yeah.
they could have really put rocket boosters on her there, and it would have worked a bit more. But um, yeah, I think again,
I
not
mean,
not quite not very likely.
yeah, because like the whole angle when Sonya Deville was the one sending the texts and stuff, there was a whole angle that could have been built and evolved and moved forward and made into an actual kind of thing, but it just didn't, did it? So I think that's kind of the Mandy Rose experiment. I think has kind of ended.
Yeah.
Sorry, Mandy.
A lot of that obviously not their fault because Sonia Deville had that creepy stalker who
Yeah.
like
Oh,
tried to
that's
get into a house and all of that horrible stuff.
terrifying. But yeah, but I just think that's like with injury and circumstance, and it's horrific. But I think that's kind of life getting in the way a little bit there, isn't it? That sounds really fucking cold hearted, doesn't it? Because that's awful what happened to her. But I
Yeah,
think just again with Mustafa Ali missing his push, with Kofi Kingston taking his spot in the cage, and we all know what happened there.
yeah,
Uh, it's fucking horrible. But I just think that she's missed that opportunity. That opportunity's gone. Not to say it won't ever come back round again, but I think as it stands, I think they've kind of put that one on the back burner for a bit, haven't they?
well, wrestling can be kind of like cyclical, and or and it can come in kind of peaks and troughs, can't it? That
Yeah.
you can be treading water for ages, and then something random can get just get over, and you
Yeah.
just ride the wave as it comes, sort of thing.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, no, yeah, you're definitely right. But I don't. I think this time around, no, no.
Yeah, I know she's good. She's nice to look at. Say that. That's you know
Yeah, I
she's
mean, you can say that because that's what Vince does go for, doesn't it? He's
yeah,
like, if you're 6'3" and built like a brick shithouse and were Mr. Universe, Vince was like, sign him. Has he ever wrestled? No. We'll sign him. Don't care. Look at his look. Look what he looks like. Look at the whole diva.
exactly. And I
No.
think part of
Yeah.
the reason she got put in the Otis angle is entirely through because of her aesthetic.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know if this is a official canon, but I heard someone online saying that her and who was she partnered with? Oh my god, what's her name?
Sonya Deville.
No, the other blonde wrestler lady. I don't know her name. Oh my god, how annoying is that?
I can't think of it. I will do
I
some
can't,
research.
yeah, I can't remember. Anyway,
Dana Brooke.
Dana Brooke, yeah, Dana Brooke. Someone turned around and said that they were the muscle Barbies.
Yeah, muscle Barbies.
Yeah, because again they're attractive and quite muscular. I wonder if JBL had anything to do with their booking.
Big big
Yeah,
fetish.
yeah, but again, great athletes, great wrestlers. But I just think that experiment's gone. To be honest.
Yeah, and her
Yeah.
partner now, Dana Brooke, who was coming up next as well.
Mm.
I think she's probably a 1.
Yeah,
I just don't
out of
see
the
it
two,
at all.
out of the two, she's got less of a chance than Mandy, isn't she?
Yeah, she's one of
Yeah.
the ones that is there kind of to make up the numbers, and I think putting her in the tag team with Mandy Rose, like, it's a sign. If you just come out of a tag team, especially, they were
Yeah.
struggling for stuff to do with her. I mean, that's my take on it anyway.
Yeah, again, it's kind of I don't really know what to say, to be honest, because I don't really know what she's done. It's, God,
Yeah.
that's such a bitch. But I couldn't really tell you anything that Dana Brooke's done, to be honest. So
No, I can't really. There's no defining sort of moments, or the only thing that really springs to mind is hype packages and stuff when she was debuting at NXT all those years ago. I
yeah,
couldn't really definitively tell you much else about her, unfortunately.
and to be honest, I'd forgotten about them until you said it.
Well, that's a sign that it's effective and it's going well, isn't it?
I'm glad I live in this country and over there because Dana Brooke would kick my fucking ass if she heard me sling it. Could you imagine?
Yeah, is she's someone I like. I
Yeah,
don't.
yeah, absolutely. I'm just having my nasty wrestling critic smart mark head on, but I just not saying they're horrible people. I can't see you winning the title. Sorry, Dana.
No, I can't either. I don't think it's respectful. I think she probably understands. She'd probably understand if she ever heard this.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's been at WWE for 7 years. I made a debut in 2014. Was obviously training before then.
Yeah.
But I genuinely had no idea she'd been there that long. Makes me feel a bit weird.
I think that reflects back on the fact that we both said we don't really know what she's done. She's just background noise, isn't she? God, I'm such a bitch.
Next, we got Payton Royce. Met her at Download. She signed some stuff for me.
Awesome.
She's very nice. Obviously, big fan of the Iconics.
Yeah, absolutely. Still a 1 though.
Yeah, yeah. I know. I wanted to try and make a case for more than a 1, but they're not going to do it to her. I don't know. Going on our Wikipedia profile now, the last entry was October when the Iconics got split up, and there's nothing else after that.
Yeah.
Didn't know she was married to Shawn Spears, though.
Yeah, well, that's another reason why she ain't going to get shit in the WWE, is it?
Yeah.
But you're doing really well. I hear your husband's doing well over in the competition. Really? Yeah, let's put her for a table for 9 weeks. Oh, sorry, my mistake. That was Lana.
Christ. Yeah, Shawn Spears. Oh, I remember when he was Ty Dillinger, and I had all that hope for him, and then he came to AEW, debuted really well, and he's just floundered ever since. Apparently, he's going on excursion to Impact. I just feel bad for the guy.
One of the biggest kind of we used to back in the day. Obviously, you can't do it now. We used to have a Royal Rumble and WrestleMania. WrestleMania, we used to go out and we'd go and find a pub somewhere that had a lock-in, and we'd watch. You'd buy your tickets and go and watch WrestleMania with loads of wrestling fans. But they don't do it for Royal Rumbles. So we just used to go around friends' houses. There'd be a little group of us that go around each other's houses and host each year kind of thing. And I remember when he came out at number 10, and I genuinely jumped off my seat. I genuinely stood up. I was so excited. And then I think he got thrown out in about 4 minutes or 8 minutes or something. I was like, well, that's really disappointing.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
I try not to get invested too much in it sometimes because I don't want to be crushed. I just can't be hurt again, you know?
It's that like conversation with an ex. I'm sorry, it's not you, it's me. No, actually, it is you. Your content is shit. I'm not coming back. I'm done. I can't get hurt like this again. And
you've made me feel miserable.
I feel miserable, and I cry myself to sleep. 3 weeks later, you're going, "Hello, is that SmackDown? Why are you not answering my calls? I miss you."
We've got Alexa Bliss next, who seems to me like one of the front runners. I mean, I put her on 4.
Yeah, I put her up there as well.
Yeah, partly because, unlike a lot of the candidates so far announced, she's actually doing things, you know.
Yeah, it's definitely
quite prominently doing things.
It'd be quite interesting to see Bliss and Bayley in maybe the last 2.
Yeah.
So one from each brand, and they've both had kind of a sharp left turn in their characters, haven't they? That might be an interesting kind of finish, especially if Bliss goes through the 3. Oh my God! What about the 3 faces of Bliss?
Oh, that'd be cool.
Like Foley did. You've got, because last night on Raw, she flicked into the original Alexa Bliss costume, didn't she?
Yeah, the really like cotton candy character she used to have.
Yeah, and she was like crying and everything, and Asuka was like, "What the hell?" And then she flicked back into the Alexis playground, and then she flicked into the female fiend with the mandible and the Sister Abigail kind of corner rope upside downy thing. Why can't we have the 3 faces of Alexa?
I thought that would be great. Yeah, that's genuine. That would be a lot of fun. I think maybe that's why we're a week in and they've only announced 12 of the 30 competitors. Maybe 2 more of them are Alexa Bliss.
Yeah, 11 of them are Alexa Bliss, just with different hats on.
I'd watch that. It was better than last year, where I jokingly said that Santina Morella would come out for it, and then it actually happened.
When he came out, right, did you for a split second go, fuck me, he's going to win?
Yeah, I genuinely thought he was going to win as soon as he came out.
Yeah, I was like, oh my god, it's Santina Morella. And then the next thing was, he's going to fucking win this. He's going to win.
I was torn between being furious and just finding it hysterically funny.
Yeah. No, I was like that emoji for comedy or entertainment. I smiled, and then within a matter of seconds, my smile would turn completely upside down into a frown. I was like, Santina Morella. Oh shit, he's going to win.
Oh man. Shayna Baszler probably has a more chance than Nia Jax of winning it. So if like Nia Jax is a 2, Shayna Baszler's like a 3, but still probably won't win it.
Yeah, totally agree. I reckon she'll be there or thereabouts at the end, though.
Yeah, because she's MMA. She's legitimately hard.
I was about to say that they big up the kind of every time she's in the ring, they're like, she's a legitimate fighter. Oh, she's a MMA fighter. They always throw it in there about her legitimate background, which pisses me off a little bit because when you say, oh yeah, a legitimate MMA fighter in wrestling commentary, you're basically saying that everybody else is just taking the piss.
You're just like, all right, not like the rest of these pussies who are just playing around.
Yeah, exactly. It kind of undermines everybody else. Don't say legitimate, just say they're from a mixed martial arts background.
Yeah.
Person's a real fighter. Hold up.
Bit rude.
Yeah.
Right, I'm going to just group these two in as one, Liv Morgan and Ruby Riott, like sort of Riott Squad. I think both of them won. There's just no way that they're going to do anything, is there, surely?
No, again, I totally agree because, again, you're looking at women's division, established tag teams. I think they brought the Riott Squad back, didn't they? Because they needed the tag teams and it was working and they should never bloody split them up in the first place. So I think to have them fall out or have one of them win the Rumble to go on to have a title then just feels clunky.
Nah, I don't think they can afford to do it, really.
No, legitimate. Like I said, there's no legitimate female or women's division tag team sort of contenders. There's no one that springs to mind. There is nobody apart from them two, the Riott Squad and Jackson Baszler. Yeah, I don't think they can afford to mess with that, to be honest. I mean, like I said, they split them to only bring them back together again because they realised they'd fucked up. So
yeah,
no.
Yeah, it quickly went from Liv Morgan being, in the bath involved in that the Rusev Lana thing that I've mentioned a couple of times already to like straight back to the Riott Squad.
Yeah, I love Ruby Riott as well. Ruby Riott is amazing. She's so good. So good. I mean, she could probably go on a singles run. Out of the two of them, she would probably get the better run, I reckon.
She certainly has like a unique look and all of that sort of stuff. I
honestly think she's amazing. Some of her indie stuff is just fantastic. She's a great wrestler. I mean, she could run on her own easy, but I think the Riott Squad's just got that ring to it and the look and the contrast between her sort of green hair and shaved and short. I just think it works. I think they're a really good tag team. I really like them. So, but yeah, they're good. I like them. I like them as a pairing. I think they really work well together. And probably a little bit biased because, like I said, Ruby Riott is one of my favourites in the women's division. I think she's got a lot of potential.
Yeah, I'd say so, but maybe she's unfortunately been kind of tag team typecast almost, and they can't really see beyond that.
Yeah.
The final one is Tamina. I don't know. I'm inclined to say 3 because I'm just seeing loads of articles coming out about how she'll be really big one day and all of this, and it seems like there's some concerted effort to try and hype her, but I don't know. What are your thoughts on this one? Because I'm just genuinely unsure.
Yeah, no, I think, again, to be boring, I think I agree. I don't know. I really don't know. It's she could either be eliminated quite quickly or be there at the end, I think, because she's got the history and the pedigree and the ability and the look. So why not? Maybe this is the start of a push for Tamina because there's no reason why you couldn't put the company on her kind of thing, or on the belt on her. There's every reason to think that she would be able to carry it and be quite a dominant sort of champion as well. The more I'm talking about it, the more I'm thinking, I quite like her actually. I think maybe moving her up from a 3 to a 4 here in my own mind. The more I think about it, the more I'm thinking, well, why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't
certainly
you?
makes sense,
Yeah, you know what? I would have said a 3 and gone conservative, middle of the road, but I think I'm going to go for a 4. I genuinely can't see a reason why you wouldn't.
Yeah,
So,
I'm inclined to
go for a 4, I think, on Tamina.
Yeah, that's four's a big. I'm going to stick with 3, but go with 4, and that's she's definitely a compelling dark horse kind of character for me.
Definitely, but the more I've sort of had this conversation, when you first said the name, I thought, middle of the road, there or thereabouts. I can see her sort of being in the last 6 or 7, maybe. But then the more I sort of thought about it, the more I'm thinking, well, why would you not put her over? Can't see a reason why you wouldn't. But definitely, I'm happy with a 4 with Tamina.
Yeah, so to wrap up the women's Royal Rumble, are there any kind of ones that haven't been announced or mentioned that you think are quite likely to be contenders? I mean, the only 2 I can really think of are, obviously Sasha Banks, but maybe Trish Stratus will come back again, or Lita, or Beth Phoenix, something like that.
Surprise-wise, you mean?
Yeah.
I'm thinking maybe the Bellas.
Yeah.
Or one of the Bellas, maybe.
Because Nikki, I think Nikki's more likely than the other one.
I was thinking, maybe Nikki Bella with Brie Bella as like the managerial MVP type kind of role.
Yeah.
And we spoke at length, haven't we, about the fact that there's no real defined women's division tag teams. You bring back the Bellas, you've got an instant tag team there, haven't you? Everyone knows who's going to hang their hat on. So I'm thinking maybe one of the Bellas or both. What else was I thinking? Controversial. What about Blanchard?
Tessa Blanchard, definitely, because I know she's had her, like you said, she's had her share of dodgy press lately, but WWE don't seem overly bothered about stuff like that. And she's been kind of radio silent since she stopped dealing with Impact, but she's a huge name, and she's probably one of the hottest free agents on the market right now.
That part of the contract, though, when she was fired, that she had to go sort of off radar, wasn't that part of the position? But the only thing that the tiny little cynical voice in the back of my head that makes me a little bit cautious is the fact that her dad is on AEW.
Yeah.
And I know it's petty, but Vince and the McMahon and the regime at Titan Towers are fucking petty as hell, aren't they?
Oh, yeah, notoriously so.
So, I don't know, maybe part of me say 70-30. 70% of me thinks, but 30% of me thinks Vince can be a real vindictive, spiteful, like, kind of petty man, can't he?
Yeah.
So, I don't know. But, I'd like to see that. And also, as well, another long shot, Ronda Rousey.
Yeah, that'd be nice to see, because obviously she just draws attention and eyes to the company, and she really pisses off a lot of fans on social media. So she's just a natural heel at this point, isn't she? So she'd be a good.
Yeah, she can walk straight into that role, can't she?
No, easily.
Yeah. Also, as well, I don't know whether you heard. I made a note of this. Sorry, I made a note. Lacey Ryan. Have you heard Lacey Ryan? She's the NWA. Lacey Ryan is the NWA Midwest Women's Division champion, and apparently she's just signed with WWE.
So, she's not someone I'm overly familiar with.
No, I hadn't heard of her, to be honest, or any of her work up until that point, because obviously I was watching wrestling type stuff as you do on YouTube, and it came up in one of the news feeds that she had signed. So I did a bit of a Google. She looks pretty good, man.
She's jacked, mate.
Looks very good. Has got quite an indie following as well, so it could be the start of something here. Who knows? Maybe it's sort of push for a women's division, CM Punk maybe, I don't know, but she's known on the indie circuit as Lacey Ryan. The problem I can see there is, how can you have two Lacey's in the same division?
Oh, she's called Zoe Stark now. At Zoe Stark WWE, yeah.
Oh, so they've changed her name then since the last. When was that posted?
She's got an official. She's just changed her Twitter. It's now at Zoe Stark WWE.
Because I Googled.
And she's been on NXT a couple of times. I think she's due. She's retweeting like NXT and all of that sort of stuff. So I imagine she's due there fairly soon.
Yeah, but to change the name as well, because like I said, she was a week ago when I was looking. It was all Lacey Ryan and pictures of her with the belt, etc. So if they've changed the name already, Stark is a little bit Game of Thrones, which is typical WWE. 2 years after the pop culture reference, they bring it into the product. But there you go.
Finger on the pulse.
Yeah. What's her tag team partner going to be called? Was it Samantha Tamagotchi?
Yeah.
But yeah, whoa, she's a Japanese heel wrestler. Are we still doing that, Vince? Seriously, it's 2021, mate.
No. But yeah, those are the only few that I can really think of. Any or all of those would be quite interesting. Melina would be fun. Yeah. They'd go nowhere near Melina, but that'd be fun. Alison Kay, maybe. She is a Formula NWA Women's Champion. She was on a pay-per-view. She challenged I think it was either Thunder Rosa or Serena Deeb for the title and lost. But she's unsigned. She seems like one of the probably biggest unsigned names at the moment.
Okay. Yeah, I think there'll be a couple. There'll be a couple of kind of. What about Rhea Ripley? Has she thrown her hat in the ring yet?
I would be very surprised if she didn't end up in the Royal Rumble, because it's not exactly the most. It's probably the best women's division in pro wrestling, but still, it's not like it's chocker full of big names,
Yeah.
But I like Rhea Ripley a lot. She's got a unique look. She wrestles like a hard nut.
Yeah.
Nothing bad to say about Rhea Ripley.
Totally agree.
That's not entirely through fear.
Well, mostly, but not entirely. But no, they're great. Yeah, a lot of time for Rhea Ripley as well. Great look, great athlete, great on the mic. Yeah, good, all good.
Yeah, shall we wrap up with the men's Royal Rumble? There's a few more announced. 18 of the 30, so that's at least wrapping up nicely. Yeah. Daniel Bryan.
Oh, it's got. You know what? I'm going to say a 4 because he's Daniel Bryan, isn't he?
Good man. I love him so much, and I know he's saying he's winding down and he wants to put over young guys, but always want one last hurrah with Daniel Bryan.
And you'd think that the company may, and again, we know we said that Vince is petty and a man-child, but surely Daniel Bryan, if it is his last year, sort of in the ring, you would want to give him a bit of a send-off, because he's well. What can you say about Daniel Bryan? I mean, what can you say about the American Dragon? He's just Daniel Bryan, isn't he? He's
one of the best to ever do it, easily.
Yeah, some of the biggest feel-good moments in my wrestling history of watching it is Daniel Bryan's there. It's that yes moment when you won the title from being a B+ player. It's just a great moment. It's an iconic wrestling moment. It's up there with what do you call it, Miss Elizabeth on Macho Man's shoulder. It's there. It's one of them images that's burned on your brain forever. It makes you smile. I'm smiling now just thinking about it.
Yeah, it's just like a happy childhood memory for every wrestling fan.
Yeah,
it's just.
I was probably in my late 30s when that happened, so maybe not childhood memory, but a good memory.
Yeah, the similar sort of fondness for it, though, if you know what I mean.
Just talking about it now, I've got a smile. I'm smiling, thinking of it. The little hairy little goat,
Love the guy. Also, lots of really intense, stiff Ring of Honor matches to wank yourself silly over if you haven't seen them before.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Bobby Lashley. No way, surely.
No.
Like one or a two.
Yeah, no. But and again, not through lack of talent, ability, experience. Just the fact that he's got far too much going on to be put into that picture of me. I mean, US title, hurt business.
Yeah. He's busy. He's got his place and his thing, and they'll probably do something in the Rumble to set up with who he or the Hurt Business are taking on next, and use it as more of a vehicle for that rather than anything else.
Not a question.
Or someone will just throw him out for no reason.
It's not a question of he couldn't. It's just the fact that he just doesn't need to at the moment.
Yeah, he's fine. He's fine where he is. I really enjoy the Hurt Business. They've definitely made something like compelling there. It's one of the more compelling bits of WWE program. It's certainly better than Retribution.
Don't. I'll have nightmares. Not because then you get
Antifa, you know.
Oh, Slapjack. That sounds like what would happen if you bought a wank magazine off Wish, isn't it?
Yeah. Fucking T-bar and rim job and whatever they're called, you know.
Yeah, brilliant. But again, can I just say, when MVP came back, right, I was like, oh, for fucking MVP. Where have they wrestled this old dinosaur out of? What bloody MVP? He's rubbish at MVP. I know loads of people I'd rather have back than MVP. Bloody P. He's rubbish. He's fucking rubbish. And now I'm like, I love MVP. He's brilliant at Her Business.
Yeah, I was just like, oh my god, did I just fall asleep and wake up in 2007? But he's fine. He's perfectly fine doing what he's doing, you know?
Really good. But when he came back, and it was like, and he came back and he didn't come back through that big inflatable curtain thing. Like, I'm coming, bosh. I was like, look, you're an old man. You've lost your inflatable curtain. You've got no pyro. Like, why are you here? We don't need you. Piss off back to the Attitude Era. No one wants you here. 3 weeks later, I'm like, that MVP's brilliant, isn't he? I really like him. We're so fickle. We're so fickle wrestling fans. We really are.
Oh. No, famously so.
Our next guy, best thing I've ever seen.
Our next guy has more of a chance. AJ Styles. I think he's got to be one of the front runners, surely.
Absolutely, I've got him as. He's got to be a number 5 for me. I think he's going to go all the way.
Yeah, he seems a shoe-in for Final 3 for this. You know.
Yeah, I've actually got it.
Yeah, I could see him as being a real cowardly shithead opponent for Drew at WrestleMania. Yeah,
I think that'd be a great match. I think that'd be a great match, and I think the reason he's going to win it is because he's going to have the 17-foot fella whose name escapes me at the minute, helping him out.
Yeah, I'm just going to call him Unit. He's just Unit. It's gonna.
I keep wanting to say Babatunde, but it's not Babatunde, is it? It's Oh, it'll come to me.
But yeah, he's certainly one of the favourites, you know.
Yeah, I've got him to win, actually. So I've sort of, I've got my money on.
I just find it funny how he's a flat earther. I find AJ Styles' views just wonderfully entertaining all of the time.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah,
he's a treasure. Is AJ Styles?
He truly is.
He got really annoyed when someone asked him how he felt about being, having fans in the gay community, and he was like, "The gay community." Like he was going to be imminently bummed.
Which is ironic because he spent 2 years with soccer mum hair.
Yeah, just like. The flying Karen era of AJ Styles.
Yeah, he was like the anti-Finn Balor, wasn't he?
Oh crap! Yeah, I think in a lot of ways as well beyond wrestling. Randy Orton, he always seems there or then about, doesn't he? We've got to say a 4 for him because he always just seems to do well in Rumbles, even if he doesn't win.
I was going to say a 4 because again, it's the Charlotte Flair effect, isn't it? He's Randy Orton, He's got to be there or thereabouts.
Yeah.
RKO people out of nowhere.
Yeah, I think now, especially since Cena and Undertaker have gone, he's one of like the locker room legends, the old legends, isn't it? You know, like one of the. I'm surprised, yeah, because he's wanted to work part-time apparently for like ages, but he doesn't. But his longevity is very impressive. Like I know his shoulders haven't been the best at times, but he works a style which means he's been able to have a career at this level for so long.
Isn't it? His movements are quite methodical. It's quite kind of that's his gimmick, isn't it? Like the Viper, he's very kind of methodical in his movements. It's kind of like the Mummy sort of style, isn't it? It's like thud, 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 all through the match. It's sort of one paced. It can get boring sometimes, but if you look at it as he's wrestling that style, it's quite clever because it's quite easy to get kind of carried away and up the tempo, which is not you. But then he can if he needs to.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's altered,
isn't he? He needs the right ingredients, doesn't he?
Yeah. I mean, I remember hearing a story about, when he was in Evolution and he crashed his motorbike. Did you hear that story?
Yeah.
And it went down the side of the cliff or the hill or whatever, and the bike was all smashed up, and the ambulance people came down with the police to help the wreckage, and he was sitting on the side having a smoke, having a cigarette, and the ambulance bloke went, "Excuse me, mate, have you seen the rider of this?" And he went, "Yeah, it's me." We was looking for a body, and he's just sitting there having a fag, going, "Oh, I wonder how long it take you to turn up."
Oh, I love him. I love permanently bored face Randy Orton. He's a meme. He's a meme delight.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I mean, we could go on for hours, couldn't we? I mean, some of the GIFs and some of the YouTube videos where they've superimposed Randy Orton RKOing people out of nowhere at football stadiums and at restaurants and in supermarkets is just a thing of beauty. So
I love it when wrestling kind of breaks out of its shell and you have people who don't know anything about wrestling sharing like John Cena memes and stuff. It's always fun.
I came onto stage once sitting on a very small child's pink 3-wheel bike to the John Cena theme music. Genuinely, because we were a little bit drunk at a gig, me and Mike Orvis, who you should get on the show. He's quite a wrestling buff as well. We saw this trike in the sort of in the gardens of the pub that we was doing the gig at, and he was emceeing and I was just on. So I was closing the show, not headlining, just last person on, basically. So by the time we'd got there, I was very drunk. Well, drunk enough, should we say? Not very drunk, but I was drunk enough. So we decided it'd be funny if I sat on the kid's little trike, because I'm quite small, and he played the John Cena theme music through the speakers and booted me across the stage on this little bike.
That's beautiful.
Amazing entrance. One of the best.
Iconic entrance.
I laughed. I thought it was fucking hilarious. Nobody else in the audience did, but I thought it was great. Best joke I'd done all night.
I would have enjoyed it. Another thing I enjoy is Otis. Just in general, they won't do it though, will they? They won't. If they're not going to let him win money, if they're not going to let him cash in Money in the Bank properly, they're not going to have him win the Rumble. But I love Otis.
Yeah, I love Otis's promos.
Yeah.
It's just, I love Otis. He's great. He's cool. But
his faces and just his moveset. He's just lovable, isn't he?
Yeah, he's definitely a one, though, isn't he?
Yeah. Just a one. A sad one. A very reluctant one.
Yeah, the way he says "Tucky" is a thing of beauty as well, isn't it? Tucky.
Or just goes, "Oh yeah." Not trying to do like a Macho Man impression. He just does it in his own like weird sort of "oh yeah,"
He's cool. He's a good lad, but yeah, he's a one. Get out.
He'll have a funny comedy spot, and I think he'll be like eliminated in a very silly way by a heel.
The caterpillar once, isn't he?
Yeah.
There's got a caterpillar spot in there at some point from him.
Yeah. I want him to have a belt at least once. I think he deserves it.
He's not the 24/7 one, mate.
No, not that one. That doesn't count. This one's quite interesting. Because like you can never fully count him out. I don't know. I think he's probably still busy. But how do you feel about the Miz for this?
Safe pair of hands again, isn't he?
Yeah,
Love him or hate him, he's got all the goods, isn't he? He
yeah,
definitely. I mean, when he first won the world title, everyone was like, "The Miz world title? What's the world come to?" It's like still there, man. He's still pulling it out of the bag week in and week out. Is the Miz, but I don't think he's not gonna win it because he's got the Money in the Bank briefcase. Who's he gonna cash it in on himself?
exactly. So he's like a one, you know,
There's
because
no
he's already got the
story,
Money in the Bank.
there's no story, there's no development, there's nothing there, is there? I mean, it'll probably just continue the feud with, I don't know, who they're feuding with at the moment, isn't it? Drew McIntyre and that.
Yeah,
Yeah, I just no, I love him. He's great, and he's pulled himself up from his bootstraps, and he's come up the hard way, isn't he, the Miz? But
yeah,
he's not winning.
no,
He's not winning. I
yeah.
mean, come on, share the love. You can't have the bloody Royal Rumble win and the fucking contract as well. I mean, come on,
No.
Greedy.
What
Share the
would
love.
be the point? I almost forgot he had the contract. To be fair,
Yeah.
yeah. Jey Uso, another one. Surely, like he's not winning it at all, is he?
No, not at all.
No, I don't think there's much more that needs to be said about him.
No.
He's got his side character role, you know, and
Yeah, they're building the new sort of the Samoan submission machine type family, aren't they? So
yeah,
that's where they're going with that. Once Jimmy comes back, that'll be the next member, and it will be kind of like the Samoan family going around tearing shit up. So no chance.
he's fine. Cesaro next. As much as I love Cesaro, and he's kind of like a indie hipster kind of wrestling fan's wet dream, it's never going to happen for him there.
If it was going to happen, it would have happened already.
Yeah.
But I can still see him being there or thereabouts again at the end. I can see him being maybe in the last 8, maybe 6, 8. But he's not winning, so I'm going to say maybe a 3, but being generous at a 3.
Yeah, I'm going to go with 2 personally, just because I think if any of that lot kind of do well, I think it's more likely to be Zayn or Nakamura than Cesaro. But I think he could still do bits, but it's just not going to happen for him at WWE at all, and it just makes me sad. Yeah, Jeff Hardy. Again, like, how do you feel about that?
I want to say 1, to be honest, but it's the name again, isn't it? It's Jeff Hardy.
Yeah.
I can't see. He's not going to win it. Is he? He's not going to win it.
No.
He's not winning.
I think he had the good. I found it. You know, his his angle with Sheamus was decent enough, but I think he's there for a few good spots, and then he'll be eliminated. You know.
Yeah, I reckon he's a 2. I've got maybe it's a 2. I don't want to say 1 because that seems disrespectful to Jeff Hardy, but I can't see where you would go with that program.
Yeah, considering you know he's part of the reason I got into wrestling. I'll go 2 as well as a mark of respect.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I mean, there's some great high flyers in Gen Pro wrestling, like Tenacity, a young lad called Tom, who I don't know whether I'm breaking kayfabe, plays the role of a high flyer called Andros J, and he's fantastic. I mean, the geezer is immensely talented, and if you speak to him, his influences are the Hardys. All his high flying stuff and all his fast paced offense is all Hardy based. So yeah, definitely left their mark on the industry, but I just can't. Yeah.
Yeah, generations and generations of people's worth of influence, but it's not the same. It won't wash. It won't be enough to be a contender with this, I feel.
Yeah, I mean, where does, if say for example Hardy did win it, Jeff Hardy did win it, what program are you going to run? Hardy against McIntyre? Not really that interested, to be fair. Is it babyface? So then if you put Hardy against Roman Reigns, it just doesn't have that kind of marquee appeal, does it?
No, you just feel Reigns is just going to smash him.
Yeah, because I don't know. It's just it hasn't got that je ne sais quoi, shall we say, about it. I
No,
can't see where the program would go. So
yeah,
for that,
and
I'm out.
yeah, and I think if you were going to build Jeff Hardy, you'd have months and months of booking him strong before doing this. It wouldn't just be that non sequitur and random.
Yeah, no, definitely. So I've got him as a 2.
Yeah. Another one I think is kind of a free dark horse. This one, because I would love to see him shithouse this and win, just because I love him and his work, and he annoys so many people. But Sami Zayn.
Right, okay, yeah. I think we're very much on the same page. I love Sami Zayn's work.
Yeah.
I think he's brilliant. He really, really does. Yeah, he really does make me smile. I enjoy watching him, even when he's not in a match or if he's not holding a title. When Sami Zayn comes out, I instantly my ears prick up. I'm like, oh, hello. Yeah, so it'd be amazing if he won it, though, wouldn't it? That would be so cool. You could do so much with it, but it's not going to happen.
No. I'm still going to dream and go give it a 3 just because it'd be hilarious. Yeah. I can dream, Randy. I can dream.
I'm going to have to go 2. I'm going to have to drop a level, I think, because I don't think WWE see him as a serious kind of competitor. I think they just see him as like the comedy element.
Yeah.
Like the light relief, which again is a shame because he's ridiculously talented.
Yeah. And they know that. He's had a great match against Nakamura for them, you know?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. But, yeah, he's kind of stuck in that mid-card comedy type role at the moment, or...
Yeah.
That's the way they're like, he's mad, he's a conspiracist, he's mad.
Yeah, he'll be there for months like that, won't he?
Yeah. But again, great wrestler, great performer.
Yeah, one of my favourites.
Yeah, I agree. Totally agree.
Dolph Ziggler got a hold of one for me. There's been too many false dawns, and people go, "Oh no, this is different because of they're doing this thing, and that means he'll finally get the push for the big guns, or they'll be doing something with him." But no, I think it's a 1 for Ziggler. He can be slotted into angles with most things, and he's a very good, reliable performer. He's a definitive good hand for me, but. Yeah. No, they're just not doing it with him, are they?
Again, there's no story, is there? There's no build. Where's the story going to go if he won the title? If he won the Rumble, where are you going to go with it?
Yeah, McIntyre's already battered him.
I was going to say, all you could probably have is the rematch angle with McIntyre, but McIntyre slapped him around like a red-headed stepchild. So what's the point? If you put them two together, everyone's going to be thinking, well, he's just going to kick the shit out of him again, isn't
he? Yeah, they've already done that, so I feel that's kind of redundant, isn't it? There's no clamouring for a rematch. There's no kind of controversy or like, you only just beat me sort of thing.
And aren't they tag team champions at the moment? Dirty Dogs or whatever, Rudolph, whatever they're called now. Are they holding the belts?
Let me check. I shall check. I should have done my research. Yeah, alliance with Robert Roode. Yeah. They are, as far as I can see now. Yeah, him and Robert Roode. I forgot about Bobby Roode. Jesus.
Glorious. Yeah, but yeah. So I can't see it. He's got too much on his plate with the tag titles. There's a thing going with the Street Profits. I think that's an on-running feud rematch thing. So nah.
Yeah. He's there. He's a good safe worker. That's why they put him in there, but not for anything else.
If you go back and watch on the network some of the Spirit Squad stuff that he was doing, he was always one of him and was it Drexler?
Kenny Dykstra, yeah.
They were clearly the two standouts in that Spirit Squad thing. So even if you watch him with his short hair doing that Mikey type stuff, yeah. He still comes across as a good performer and a good athlete and everything. So
yeah, he's certainly committed to the role of Spirit Squad.
Yeah, and I mean, this is what we're going right back to the beginning of the podcast. If you believe it, or if the performer believes it, then I'm going to believe it. So the fact that he threw his lot in completely, you believed it. So you bought into it. So you then kind of watch the character. If he half-assed it and said, "I'm not doing this, it's bloody mouse cheerleading squad. I'm not having this. It's bloody rubbish. What are you bloody talking about? Bloody wrestling me, mate. You bloody." Then you'd be like, "Well, they're all shit, aren't they?" And where would you be now? So there's a lesson.
He certainly ate shit and somehow turned it into carrots or something. I don't know.
Is that an Ipswich kind of local colonialism? Eat shit, make carrots.
It isn't. It's just something. My brain tried to fish out an intelligent analogy, and that's what happened, Randy. If I'm honest,
I'm gonna see if I can get that into conversation at some point tomorrow. Well, you know what happens? You eat shit, you make carrots.
My version of lemons and lemonade. Nakamura. I want it to be true, but I don't know. Like, my heart says 4, head says 3. You know.
Yeah. No, I've got him as a 4. And I'll tell you why, my old mate, chum, matey, malarkey, mate, friendly governor. The reason why is because, you know, he got screwed during the gauntlet match for the title shot.
Yeah.
What happened to that? That kind of went a bit quiet, didn't it? What if he wins the Rumble for the second time and then cuts his promo saying, "This company's done me twice. I've done this, I've done that, I've won this, I've won that. Where's my bloody shot? Tag team champion," and goes off on his little meh and becomes the real bastard heel, and then goes after Drew.
Oh, that'd be perfect.
That works so well in my mind, because he's like, "How many times do I have to eat shit and make carrots before you give me a shot?" See, I got it in there. I got it in there, man.
Yeah, I think that how they've booked Nakamura, it's like they had this wonderful asset, like the commodity, and then they just made him normal, you know, or too normal, you know.
Yeah.
And
that entrance is just
I prefer it when he hits people in the face rather than in the balls. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Dick. Yeah, was it Dick Kick City?
Yeah. And I don't mind a good dick kick if you're a heel, but if that's like you're basically like a dominatrix at this point, it's too much, you know.
And the Briggs brothers, we won our sort of first, maybe second match with a low blow from yours truly.
Nice. Leg or arm low blow?
Forearm.
Forearm right on the scrot.
From behind as well.
Dastardly.
Because I'm so short, and the guy that I did it on was about 6'3". It was the owner of the company. It was John Moores, actually. And because he was so tall, I was able to sneak in through the back of the ring, and the big old bruiser, the Bully Briggs, was able to block the view with the referee, and I was able to get the low blow in and roll out so no one could see me.
Smart.
Yeah,
that's a well-oiled machine right there.
Definitely.
Our next one, I've been hearing kind of a lot of talk that it's kind of this year in the same way, like, was it last year or the year before, was Kofi Kingston's year, and Big E. And I kind of want to put a 4 because I've seen like the odds on him shorten drastically. A lot of articles have mentioned him as a contender, and he sure as fuck deserves it. Love Big E.
Yeah, absolutely. Totally agree. Big E is amazing and very overlooked, I think. I say overlooked, that's not the right word. I mean, his run in the New Day was amazing. It was outstanding. It's fantastic. So maybe not overlooked. The thing that annoys me with it is when the commentators go, he's never held a singles title, and he's in uncharted territory. It's like, did you not see him in NXT dominating everybody? I mean,
isn't he the first ever NXT champion?
I don't know, is he?
To be honest. If he's not the first, he's definitely the second, because it was either him or Rollins, and then him.
I think you're right. I think it was Big E, you know.
Yeah. But put some respect on Big E's name, internet. Yeah. Shut your dirty whore mouth, Michael Cole.
But they always kind of play him as, he's never been able to do it on his own. Yeah, he has. Loads. Right, but so that annoys me a little bit when they don't give him the kudos that I think he deserves. The only thing that says that I don't think he's going to go on to win it is, I heard all the hype as well, like you were saying, and I was like, you know what? Yeah, I'm down with that. I can see that happening. He kind of deserves his push, Big E. Big E Langston, as he started off as, isn't it?
Yeah.
But when Sami Zayn dropped the Intercontinental belt to him, I suddenly thought, well, they're not going to have him win the Rumble, then, are they? This is his pat on the head, isn't it? The Intercontinental title run is the thank you very much for your service, Big E. Yeah. He's not going to win the Rumble now. The minute he took the title, the Intercontinental, that's it. The Rumble's gone now. You can't tag shag two birds with one Johnny, mate. I'm sorry, you've done.
It's the good job, mate. Belt, isn't it?
Yeah, I can't. Yeah, the minute he picked that belt up from Sami Zayn, I was like, well, he's not winning the Rumble then.
Yeah. Yeah, I can understand that. I think I might downgrade him to a 3 on that basis because that seems fair.
Yeah,
I don't want to entirely give up hope, though. You know what I mean?
No, definitely. He definitely deserves the push massively. He's amazing, a great wrestler, and does sometimes, I think, get overlooked by the company a little bit. I keep saying overlooked. I don't want to say overlooked. I mean, I think they don't appreciate his achievements or what they've got, kind of thing. I think they kind of belittle who he is and what he's capable of and what he's achieved. Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. He's good, and I'm glad he's just got some sort of prominence beyond the tag division now, like some acknowledgement. But you always want more.
Yeah.
What about John Morrison? I think he's got a hold of 1 or a 2, surely. Yeah. Like, isn't he? Yeah.
Since he's
firmly involved with the Miz and just not really doing anything, is he?
Yeah. No, since he's come back and joined in with the Miz, he's just kind of been sort of in the shadows of the Miz a little bit.
Yeah.
The Money in the Bank win for the Miz, and the Miz doing a lot of the mic work, and I don't know. He just seems to be in the background of the Miz. Does he really even need to be there?
Yeah. So, why did they sign him beyond the? Oh shit! It's John Morrison in the Rumble, and then oh shit, Miz and Morrison are back. They're a thing. Oh yeah, this dude can do some cool parkour shit. But then they're just like, oh fuck, he's done all of that now. What do we do with him for the next 2 years?
Or do you think it was a case of shit? Let's sign John Morrison because if we don't, AEW might, and we don't want them fuckers to have him.
Yeah. That's the logic which makes me think Tessa Blanchard might show up at the Rumble.
Yeah, exactly. But then playing devil's advocate, you've got Vince going, yeah, let's get her. Whoa, we don't want AEW to have her. Yeah, Dad's already over there. Right? Well, fuck her then. We're not having her coming over here. We're a scumbag family. We're rubbish.
Exactly. You can't tell which petty impulse they're going to act upon.
Yeah. And surely someone like Heyman should be saying, well, if you send Blanchard over to AEW, they're just going to make a more hardcore version of Rick and Charlotte Flair, aren't they? That's
absolutely, yeah.
Sign her enough to cock block that angle for AEW.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Who knows what goes on in the mind of a billionaire megalomaniac narcissist? I mean, who can tell?
Yeah, especially if you're not a billionaire.
Yeah. Or just billionaire. Yeah, just billionaire.
You were saying before we got on about Sheamus a bit, but I'm not really familiar with what Sheamus is doing. I mean, it's nice to see he's still employed. I like Sheamus. He's a good fella. But do you know what's he really been doing lately?
There was that thing with Keith Lee, wasn't there, where he was like, "Oh, I should be number one contender," and Keith Lee was like, "No, I should, you bloody Irishman," and he was like, "No, I bloody should, you NXT legend." No, I should, and that went backwards and forwards for ages. And then they had a match, and Sheamus lost, and Keith Lee went on to fight Drew for the title, and it was a good match, which obviously Keith Lee lost. But Sheamus has always been popping up when McIntyre's been around in the background going, "Oh, remember us? We're Celtics. We're friends. We used to travel on the road together. We're bestest buds, aren't we?" And the Claymore sword that Drew McIntyre carries to the ring was given to him by Sheamus because he found it in his ancestral home when he went back there and went, "Oh, look, I found your sword. You left it in the car. I've been pulled over so many times by the old Rozzers. Well, what's that sword doing in the back seat? Well, I'm Sheamus. Oh, he must be giving it to Drew McIntyre and the sword, right? But so he's been very, very buddy with Drew, and he got the crap kicked out of him by Miz and Morrison last night, didn't he? On Monday night, didn't he? On a handicap match. So that's kind of been what he's been doing at the minute.
Yeah. Do I put a 1 or a 2 for him? What do you think?
Yeah, so just thinking about the program he's been running just lately, he's either going to, this is going to be really ridiculous, he's either going to be a 1 or a 2 with a no chance of winning the Rumble, or he's going to win it. And then the angle that will play is, oh, look, best buds from the old country fighting each other for the title. I gave you that sword, so I did.
Yeah, I could see that working, as weird as it is,
And it doesn't matter that he's Irish and Drew's Scottish. They keep going, oh, well, from the old country. No, they've got Celtic roots. They don't live in the same fucking country, right?
Yeah, they're very different. Very different. If you look into the politics of the region. Yeah.
So there's either that angle of face versus face at WrestleMania, or one of them turning and they know each other better than they know themselves, says Michael Cole repeatedly.
Yeah.
And that kind of stuff. Or it's just like, oh, Sheamus is here, yeah, get rid of him. We've got nothing for him. See you later. So he's either a 1 or he's a 4, isn't
he? Yeah, because I could see it working, but I'm more inclined for 1 because I don't think they can be bothered to do all the legwork that would put Sheamus in the position to challenge. It would be an interesting feud, but I don't think they'll do. I don't think they're asked.
I can see where you're coming from, definitely, and I tend to agree. But the fact that he got like double beaten and bitch slapped and cheated and everything on the last Raw, are they pushing him to be this sympathetic babyface again? Oh no, he fought and he won, but then they said it was a cheat, and then they made it a handicap match and he lost again, but he had to fight 2 of them. But he really did well. He's bloody brilliant, that Sheamus. Are they manoeuvring him to be that guy?
Yeah, they could do. Like they said, either a 1 or a 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll go 1, you go 4. I think we'll see who's more accurate.
Yeah, I'll expect an abusive text from you at 3:00 in the morning. See, I told you, you prick! Bloody 4.
Would you settle for slightly dry and sarcastic? Because by then I'm a bit too tired to be abusive.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Just send it now, and I'll just open it on Monday morning.
Yeah, just message you like, come.
First text, you should say, don't open these until Christmas. I mean, Monday morning, and then just list off a load of abuse. So,
well. Someone I feel very, very sorry for, who got an angle which made me think he'd broken up with one of the WWE higher ups' daughters or something. Mustafa Ali. Poor sod.
Yeah, he's going to win. They're going to push Retribution. They've spent too much money on this.
Yeah, they bought too many hoodies. They've trashed too many rings.
We've brought too many slapjack paper plate face masks. Right, you're bloody buying them. If we have to ram them down your chuffing throat, like a
dead on 5, clearly.
Just grab you by the face, pull your mouth open, just shove it down the fuck of your bloody throat. So you take the flea tablet for your own good, you furry bastard. That's what they're doing with us with Retribution.
That was vivid and wonderful.
So yeah, he's going to win, and he's a bastard. But
clearly 5.
Yeah, clearly there or thereabouts, I think, because just I hate them so much.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to smash up your show. We hate you for everything you've done to us. Roar. Do you want a contract? Yeah, that'd be lovely. Cheers, thanks.
Yeah. And now we're going to just stand in the ring politely, mumbling our grievances for a bit.
Okay, what is it old Rimmer said when he lost his anger? He's going to hit the authority with a really vindictive leaflet campaign.
Yeah, Mercedes Martinez just fucking off, noping the fuck out from the angle and
Yeah.
asking to go back to NXT after 2 weeks.
Can I go back to NXT? No, I'll even go back to primary school just to get away from this fucking angle. I'll go that far back just to be disassociated from this shit.
Yeah, I'll exclusively wrestle for like some Puerto Rican promotion rather than that.
Yeah, backyard wrestling. I'm gonna wrestle that guy, Superhuman.
I'm off to CZW, to wrestle Necro Butcher.
So what are you doing with your day? What are you doing with yourself these days, Mercedes? Oh, you might have seen me on video. I go, like, don't try this at home. Whoop whoop. Fuck this shit. Yeah.
Edge is finally back as well. So, in all seriousness, are we going one for Mustafa Ali or?
Yeah, I'm gonna say he's not gonna win. Yeah, no chance.
No way. What about Edge? I think Edge has got to be a favourite, just due to the fact of it being Edge.
I'm gonna go for a 3 with Edge.
You're gonna go for a 3?
Because I reckon he's gonna come in because he's only just come back. When he came back last time at the Rumble, he entered quite late, didn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Because of obviously ring rust and fitness concerns, should we say, maybe like cardio.
Yeah.
I reckon he's going to come into the ring, spear a few people, do his thing, get his pop, but the best you can do with the screens. But he get his moment, and then he's going to go like a house of fire into Orton, and it'll be him and Orton that eliminate each other.
Yeah, that seems to make the most sense, to be honest.
Yeah. And because I don't reckon they're going to have him in there that long.
Yeah, because not being funny, he got injured in the greatest match ever.
Yeah.
Which wasn't quite the greatest wrestling match ever, but it was a fucking good match.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was well enjoyable. But I can't. He still wants payback for that because he lost that match, obviously.
Yeah.
So there's they're
one apiece.
Yeah, there's the vendetta. It's the rubber match, like you said, and it's just. I don't think they'll have him in the Rumble too long for the simple reason being they don't want to get him hurt. And in them kind of environments, one mistake, you're fucked. I mean, how many mistakes there've been where people getting accidentally thrown out? AJ Styles, when he dislocated his shoulder when he rotated through the spear when Edge came back, and he had to be eliminated. And he was meant to be one of the final 3, but had to take him out in like 6 or 7 when he had to go. He had to roll out.
Yeah. Cena and Batista eliminating each other.
Yeah. Stone Cold, when he was a ringmaster, meant to be did his spot over the ropes, weren't he, with Cena, and the ropes were all oily, and he just lost his grip and fell out. If you watch that, right, here's a little Easter egg for you. If you watch Stone Cold coming in as the ringmaster, he was meant to go on and be like the final 3. I think he came in at something like 15 or 16. And he's doing a little bit of a punchy backwards and forwards with Cena in the corner. And the spot was Cena was going to throw him up over his shoulders over the top rope. Ringmaster was going to land on the other side and then climb back in. I can't remember who it was, but someone had been up against the ropes and they had been like baby oiled up. And as Cena flipped Stone Cold over the top rope, he went to grab onto the rope to kind of like skin the cat type thing, and just slipped clean off it and hit the deck. If you watch it in slow motion, and if you can zoom into John Cena's face, he just sort of goes, ooh, ooh, like he's blowing hot soup. And you just see him sitting there in the corner, like looking around for a couple of seconds thinking, fuck, I've just eliminated the guy that was meant to be in the last 3. And you then see Cena hook up or lock up with, I can't remember who it is. He locks up with somebody else, and they're in a lockup for about a minute, just like backwards and forwards. And apparently Cena turned around and said he was talking to that wrestler going, what the fuck do we do now? What the fuck am I supposed to do now? What the fuck have we done? That's kind of Stone Cold had to kind of walk around the ring a few times to let people know that he was meant to be having spots with, that he was not there. Just see him walking around the ring. Hello, I'm out. Hello. Yeah, and Stone Cold on his podcast said that was the moment he thought he was going to be fired when he walked to the back, because he'd only been in the company about 18 months.
Fucking hell.
Yeah. Just slow it down and watch Cena's face. He genuinely shits himself.
I'm going to do some research after this. Another one who It's kind of grown on me in being a knobhead heel, but won't win. Elias, one, surely.
Yeah, definitely. All day long. I mean, where's he been? What's he
What would
doing?
be the fucking point? He's a joke character, isn't he?
He's not doing anything either, is he? I can't remember the last thing. The last thing he did was, oh yeah, when I'm in this fight, don't help me out if I need it. Oh no, you didn't come in and help me out. Well, you told me not to. Yeah, fuck off.
Yeah. He's fine, if you need someone to beat on him at the mid-card level. He's fine for that. This is not his contest, is it?
Oh, it's no chance, not in a million years.
Yeah. The final bit I wanted to do is, are there any kind of people who haven't been announced, surprises that you think have a chance? Obviously, there's Brock Lesnar who's looming over this.
Yeah, I've got Lesnar down as a surprise entrant.
Yeah. Cena, maybe?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I'm thinking, but then again, would that tarnish Cena's reputation if he came back in and then gets eliminated and doesn't really do anything? But like, oh yeah, he's lost it. He's shit now.
Yeah.
I don't know whether that'd make an impact on who. I just think the surprises for the men's one are going to be just a lot of old kind of faces.
Yeah.
Just, I don't know. I would laugh
like Funaki and Jimmy Wang Yang.
Yeah, people like that. I can't see. I'd love to see Enzo come back. To be honest.
Oh, that'd be entertaining. But there's no way in hell they're touching Enzo, is there?
No, because if he did go in the ring, they would all legitimately all stamp on his head, wouldn't they?
Oh, absolutely. He's not a well-liked man in the wrestling community.
Yeah, there's all them 17 lads all jumping on that one little bloke's head. That's not very fair, is it? Is it real?
It'd be like when, I think it was Daniel Puder who won Tough Enough. He nearly broke Kurt Angle's arm, so they put him in with like Hardcore Holly, Guerrero, and Benoit, and just slapped the shit out of him for like 5 minutes and threw him out.
Yeah. I've not really got anyone down as a surprise apart from Brock, but then I don't know whether Brock's going to come in and interfere in one of the title matches.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's the great thing about the Rumble is the surprises people you don't expect.
It's probably why it's my favourite annual pay-per-view, to be honest.
Yeah, it is one of that and the Royal Rumble and WrestleMania are the only two that I will not miss.
Yeah, I'm the same. Yeah, like I'll watch them live.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you look at the big four, and out of that big four, these are the only two that were really that I have to see live. I'll stay up and watch them and order pizzas, and even if I'm sitting downstairs on my own, sort of shouting at the telly kind of thing, I will watch them.
I'm the same with that. These two, I'll maybe check out SummerSlam if it's got a stellar card, and Wrestle Kingdom. Those are the only ones, really.
Yeah. What I was going to say to you as well, actually thinking about it, sort of just mulling it over, Triple H surprise entrance.
I could see it. Certainly could see a Triple H Drew match going over really, really well.
The reason I say that is twofold, right? He had that random match with Randy Orton, didn't he, out of nowhere? Literally no reason. Like Night of Champions, he had that match with Orton for nothing.
Yeah.
Thinking, why the fuck have they done that? I don't get that. It's the whole Goldberg thing again. Why is he there? What? This makes no sense. Was it a dry run to see how ring rusty he was?
Yeah.
To see if he could still move freely enough in the ring. Because now this goes into the realm of conspiracy now, right? So bear with me. Get your tinfoil hat. All right. Y2J, Le Champion, is the record holder for the most amount of time spent in a Royal Rumble. Like overall, not in one single Rumble, but over the whole Rumble. And I've written down that he's been in a Rumble, like the 6 or 7 that he was in, a total of 4 hours and 59 minutes, right?
Fucking hell.
Right. Second on that list is Rey Mysterio with 4 hours and 1 minute. And third on that list is Triple H with 4 hours dead, right? Now, we said about Titan Towers and Vince being very fucking petty. It would not beg of belief or be out of the realms of reality that they bring Triple H in at like number 3 and just have him sit in the corner for 59 minutes
Yeah.
where he gets eliminated just to take that fucking title and that record off of Chris Jericho.
Yeah, or he like rolls under the ropes and just walks around for like most of the.
He gets thrown through the middle rope right at the beginning, and then you don't see him right to the end, and he gets thrown out at the end, right? Or something along them lines. Just because the same way they did the New Day done Demolition's record because of the legal ramifications that was going on with Demolition.
Yeah.
WWE were like, well, fuck you then. We'll just keep the belt on the New Day for 370 odd days or whatever it was.
Yeah.
So you're no longer holding the title as the longest reigning like wrestler of WWE champion, WWF champions, tag team champions.
Well, they couldn't
I see with Vince is to go, 50 minutes is it between you and Triple H, and he's my son-in-law and the heir apparent to the company. Yeah, go in at number 3. As soon as it hits 59 minutes and 55 seconds or whatever, get yourself eliminated. Fuck them for leaving us and going to them bastards. Let's have that record off him. Let's get it back in the house. Apparently that's why they changed the Intercontinental title, because Cody Rhodes was the first one to hold the white strap. And they didn't want the association, so they binned it and got a whole new belt in. Just because they didn't want the connection between that belt and AEW.
Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me at all, because, they couldn't get rid of CM Punk's record title reign like fast enough, could they?
That's what I mean. Tell you what, if Triple H comes in the first 5, Jericho's record's gone.
Yeah.
If he comes in halfway through, then they can't, because there isn't enough time. If he comes in within the first 5, they're going to take Jericho's record. And then it will be, oh my God, the CEO, Triple H, the longest amount of time ever spent in a Royal Rumble. And then they'll just bang on about it all the time to wipe Jericho from their history, because he went to the opposition.
Yeah, that doesn't seem overly conspiratorial to me. That seems entirely on brand.
Yeah.
The only other candidate I really wanted to talk to you about, because the rumour mill is either his contract's expired with New Japan or he's signed for another 7 years. And it did look like he was leaving after Wrestle Kingdom, but I know I'm not as much of a mark to believe everything, but how do you rate the chances of Jay White pulling an AJ Styles and rocking up at the Rumble?
Oh, yeah. Oh, I don't know, Is it hype? Is it contract negotiations? Is it, well, if you don't sign me, I'll go to WWE, I'll do it. Is it posturing? I don't know. I wouldn't like to say, but then having said that, the 2016 AJ Styles entrant into the Royal Rumble was probably one of the greatest moments of my wrestling life.
Yes.
I lost my shit when that happened.
Oh yeah, it was class. It was absolutely class. Even though they kept the reaction on Roman Reigns' face rather than panning out to see his thing, but
having said that all that in tow, I quite enjoyed the fact that AJ Styles' music started, and because we had never heard it before, right? Yeah. Well, never heard it on the WWE before. When you looked at Roman Reigns, he was genuinely confused. He was like, "Who the fuck is this? Who is this?" And when it cut back to him, and he was standing in the kind of the forward Jericho pose with the hood over, I felt that made it more impactful, because it's like, "Who is this? Who is this?" And when he flicked it, "You don't want none. You don't want none." It was like, fuck me, that's perfect. That's amazing.
Yeah, I see your point. I see your point with that one. But would you like to see Jay White in WWE?
Sorry?
Would you like to see Jay White in WWE?
See, I would, but then I don't want them to Shinsuke Nakamura him.
Yeah, that's always my worry about, NXT call-ups, that they don't know how to handle them and they really drop the ball with them, or, oven-ready superstars.
That would be my only concern. I mean, like I said, when Shinsuke first joined, I was chuffed to bits. And then when he made his entrance with the red light and the dramatic fallback and the violin, and they re-emphasised it and they did it live, I was thinking, this geezer's going to the fucking moon, and nothing happened.
Yeah.
yeah.
always
I
a
just
sense
worry,
of trepidation, isn't it?
I worry that Vince doesn't know who these people are, and he hears his advisors go, "You need to get this guy. You need to get him." And then he gets them, and then goes, "Who the fuck are they? What do I do with them?" And then people, because it's been said, isn't it, that people write the scripts and they write the storylines and they write the outlines of the shows, and then an hour before Vince goes, "No, that's all crap. I'm writing it," and he just writes whatever he writes for the show an hour before it goes live, where
Yeah.
all you do is fucked. No one knows what they're doing. The camera angles are wrong. The cutaways are wrong. The music's wrong. The timing's wrong, and you're like, you know,
Yeah.
it'd be quite easy to say to Vince, if you don't sign him, AEW will have him. And then he'll go, right, let's have him then. Who is he? Never heard of him. What does he do? Well, he's not very big, is he? Or he's not very small. He's quite small. Or I don't like his look. Can we cut his hair? What about if we change their name? It's like, you're missing the fucking point, Vince, mate.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so that's my only concern. I would, though. I'd love to see that. I mean, who wouldn't? But
Yeah. Oven ready superstar, kind of edgier.
Yeah.
Proper shithouse heel, goatee beard. Looks like a villain. It'd be great.
Yeah. But then, yeah, I just worry that WWE creative would just ruin it. I think they would just, I don't know.
Well, Paul Heyman said that they signed CM Punk because he was big on the internet, and he was just told he'd sign him. And when they asked him what they wanted him to do, he was like, "Why don't you do all the flippy stuff like Jeff Hardy does?" And he's just like, "Have you seen me wrestle? I don't do the flippy dippy Jeff Hardy stuff, you know."
Yeah.
And they're like, "You don't?"
Yeah. I mean, WWE have dropped the ball so many times. I mean, look at Samoa Joe. Look what he could have
Is
done
he
with
still on
Samoa.
commentary?
Yeah, he's still doing commentary. Yeah.
Oh no, I love Samoa Joe.
He's really good on commentary though. That's again, and that's another worry. That he's been injured for a while, but on commentary he's quite good. He comes really well on commentary, which then makes me worry that production, like Vince and all them, what's his face, the guy with the teeth,
Kevin Dunn.
done, yeah, that they're going to go, well, fucking hell, he's really good at commentary. Let's leave him there, which is a Mr. Perfect trait again, isn't it? Going circle to where we started this evening. He was injured, went on to commentary, and was so good they left him there. Macho Man. So it came to Macho Man as well, didn't it? It's definitely a WWF, WWE trait.
Yeah.
He's again, it just feels like they dropped the ball with Samoa Joe. He could have been something like he could have been a monster. He could have been on the Brock level kind of scale, I reckon, Samoa Joe, but
yeah, they just pulled the trigger on him. But there's so many cases of that in WWE that you don't really get to fully enjoy a signing anymore because it's always in the back of your mind. Oh, they might be, what will happen to them? They might do really well at NXT, but then if they get called up to the other two Raw or SmackDown, they're just gonna completely fuck it for them,
Yeah, no, definitely. That's just my worry that they will genuinely fuck it up, and then yeah. Well,
I think that sense of healthy skepticism is probably the appropriate way to end any sort of podcast concerning WWE at the moment.
coping mechanism, like you said, I can't get hurt again.
No, I won't go through it anymore. Looking at myself in the mirror after a pay-per-view going, why do I do this to myself?
How many times are you going to break my heart, Vince, but I still love you, god damn
it. I'm just addicted to the pain. Yeah. All right.
Funny if it wasn't true.
Well, I think that's a nice way to wrap it up. Randy, thank you so much for your time. Is there anything you want to plug before we leave people to their lives? Randy?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Yeah, they're just saying, is there anything you want to plug before we go?
I think we've done a lot of plugs with the Gen Pro Wrestling, but honestly, guys and girls, if you're out there, you've got to keep the independent scenes alive. We've got to get out to see these live shows. Gen Pro Wrestling, Genesis Pro Wrestling, you can find them online. Have a bit of a Google, have a bit of a look. Maybe just do some Google images. Come down and see us there. EWW over at Hastings. If you fancy a bit of a further trek out, again, fantastic promotion for your indie wrestling. Some top quality wrestling from both promotions. I mean, I'm biased, obviously, but good people doing good wrestling. From a comedy standpoint, check us out on Facebook, Mr. Lupus, which is Lepus, as in the Latin for rabbit. So Mr. Lupus Comedy Zoo, and we run free comedy shows, sketch shows, musical comedy, and alternative quizzes all over Kent. Come and send us an invite on Facebook and Instagram, which is on the same name, and hopefully we'll see you in person at a show, and you can tell me how stupid and ill-informed
in a lorry.
yeah.
Check out Mr. Lupus.
Sorry?
Comedy Zoo.
Comedy Zoo. Yeah.
And Genesis Pro Wrestling.
Genesis.
Well, thank you for joining us on the Hoodcast, Wrestlecast, one of the casts. I do both. It's just me talking with friends, guests. But yeah, thank you for joining us. Thank you for the support. Stay safe and stay the fuck inside.
Been fun.